Adventures in time and space. Transcribed in future tense. Can you predict the future? Can you tell what will come in 100 years? Or in 10? Or in the next minute? Tonight, Dimension X brings you a glimpse of what may well happen within your own lifetime. The Robert Heinlein story, The Roads Must Roll.
Here's a run, watch them run. Oh, our job is never done, for our roadways go rolling along. While you ride, we are watching down inside, so your roadways keep rolling along. Oh, it's high, high heat, the roadermen are we. Check off the sectors loud and strong. 1, 2, anywhere you go, you are bound to know that your roadways keep rolling along. Keep them rolling! Your roadways keep rolling along.
It was in the middle 1950s that the automotive age began to die. The traffic engineers had long expected it. For years, they had watched our vast cities sprawl and spread out, spill over into the countryside, become more and more dependent on motor transportation. And then finally, the inevitable breaking point was reached. The growing flood of cars and buses and trucks began to swamp the streets and arterial highways. The building of roads could no longer keep pace. The superhighways clogged, congested, became packed with cars stalled bumper to bumper, and the cities began to die of slow strangulation, for the traffic could no longer roll. And then the engineers took over. They banned the automobiles, tore up the superhighways, and in their place they built the rolling roads. Mechanized roads that moved like huge conveyor belts, whirling along on their giant rotors at speeds ranging from 5 to 100 miles an hour, carrying the freight, the food, and the people from city to city and coast to coast. An engineering miracle had changed the face of a nation. The automobiles and railroads vanished. The rolling roads had taken over all transportation. And no one worried over the fact that if the roads should ever stop, our whole economic life would stop. For the machinery had never failed yet. The machinery that rolled the roads was perfect. But people forgot that machinery depends on men, the men who run it.
Who makes the roads roll? That's right. The engineers. Not the supervisors, not the mechanic union, but the engineers. We're the brains of the roads. And where would the public be if we didn't keep those roads out there rolling? Right behind the 8-ball, and everybody knows it. All right, then. We're the men who hold the power. And it's time we started using it. Right. We've called this meeting of the Engineers Control Committee because that's what we want to do, control. Because I'm tired of taking orders from the Transport Commission, from slick desk jockeys like Jim Gaines, who don't even know a rotor bearing from a field. Let Gaines yammer about our duty to the public. That's a lot of eyewash. We've got the power, and we're the men that count. It's time we quit fiddling around and use a little direct action to get what we want.
Let's go. Mr. Chairman. The chair recognizes Brother Harvey of the Transport Mechanics Union.
Thanks, boys. I don't rightly belong here since I'm no engineer. I'm just here to represent the workers' union. But I want to know what's all the shooting for. You engineers have got better working conditions than we have, and we ain't kicking. You say you engineers are powerful. You say you can tie up the roads.
That's right.
Well, listen. So can any screwball with a jar of nitroglycerin.
Hey, what's he can?
Yeah, and he don't need no engineering degree neither.
Harvey, are you speaking for your union now? Or are you here as a stooge for the Transport Commission.
Listen, I helped found my union, and I led the strike in 75 for decent working conditions. Where were you engineers then, huh? With the feet!
Now, Brother Harvey, remember you're only a guest at this meeting. Go on, Pan.
Now, listen, men. I'm one of the old engineers on the roads. You all worked up the hardwood. We didn't go to the fancy technical institutes like those young punk cadets the commission is training to take over our jobs. That's right, man. Jim Gaines don't fill us full of the old school spirit and that baloney about how the roads must roll. So, all right, then. Why don't we get smart for a change? What would happen if the roads stopped rolling? Maybe the country would begin to realize that they can't do without us. And maybe we'd begin to get the things we want. The roads must roll!
Yes?
Your wife is calling, Mr. Gaines.
All right, put her on.
Jim, I want you to stop off on your way home and
I'm sorry, darling, I can't make it.
Oh, but you promised.
Yes, I know, but Washington called in. They're sending Evans, the Australian Minister of Transport, through my sector today. I've got to show him through personally.
Well, can't somebody else?
Well, I'm chief supervisor. It wouldn't be courteous.
Darling, courtesy begins at home. I've planned this dinner for weeks.
Honey, the roads must roll.
Jim, if you quote that nauseating slogan at me again, I'll divorce you.
Well, I can't help it, darling. I tell you, I'll meet you at Stockton at 9. We'll take in a show. Kiss Alan goodnight for me.
All right, dear. Goodbye.
Bye, darling.
Mr. Evans is here.
Send him in.
Go right in, sir.
Well, good evening, Mr. Evans. I'm Gaines, chief engineer.
How do you do, Mr. Gaines?
Won't you sit down?
Thank you. They told me at the embassy you'd be the man to see.
Oh?
I want to know how the roads work.
I think we can handle that.
I'm not a technical man, Mr. Gaines. My field is sociology. Suppose you tell me about the roads as if I were entirely ignorant.
Well, fine. Well, it's nearly dinner time. Suppose we run up to Stockton sector for dinner.
All right.
Take us about an hour on the roads, and you can see them working.
Excellent.
If you'll excuse me for a minute.
Of course.
Hi, Chief. What can I do for you?
Oh, Dave, you're on the evening watch, huh? Where's Van Cleek?
Oh, going to some meeting.
I'm going up to Stockton for dinner. Anything to report?
No, sir. The roads are rolling.
Okay, keep them rolling. All right, Mr. Evans, let's go. This here is the low-speed strip. You ever ridden a conveyor before?
No?
Oh, it's quite simple. Remember to face the motion of the strip as you get on. Oh, that's it.
All right.
We'll go right across here. Each adjoining strip is a few miles an hour faster than the one next to it.
I see.
Freight is carried on the 50-mile strip. Most passenger traffic is on the express strip.
Oh, yeah.
All right, now, watch your step.
All right.
Here we are, maximum speed.
100 miles an hour. Amazing.
This strip makes a round trip San Diego to Reno in 12 hours. Oh, here's the restaurant. Ready to eat?
But is this a restaurant?
There's a sign, Jake's Steakhouse, fastest meal on the road.
Is it really a proper restaurant?
Yeah, one of the best. Hooked right into the moving strip, of course. Shall we go in?
Hello there, Mr. Gaines. We don't see much of you out on the road.
Well, busy in the office, Jake.
Oh, two, right this way.
Thank you.
Here we are. Now, what'll it be?
Well, you order it, Jake.
Well, how about a steak? 2 inches thick from a steer that died happy.
Oh, that's fine. That's fine. Plug me in the intercom, will you, Jake?
Sure, there's a talk box right next to it. Flank tool, Ryan.
If you'll excuse me, Mr. Evans.
Davidson on watch.
This is the chief, Davidson. I'm at Jake's Steakhouse. You can reach me at 10L66.
10L66, right.
There now. They can get a hold of me in an emergency now.
Mr. Gaines, what kind of an emergency could there be?
Well, 2 principally. Power failure on the rotors would bring the road to a standstill. If that happened during rush hour, we'd have to evacuate millions of people.
Well, as many as that?
Oh, yes, easily. There are 12 million people dependent on this section of road. Gaines here.
Hello, Chief. Davidson. I just got the hourly reports in.
Proceed.
Cadet engineer Gunther, while on watch, was found playing cards with C.J. Ross, technician on duty.
Any damage?
One rotor running hot, but still synchronized. It was jacked down and replaced.
All right. Have the paymaster give Ross his time. Turn him over to civil authorities. Place Cadet Gunther under arrest. Bring him to Road Town Central.
Yes, sir.
All right. Keep him rolling. As I was saying, Evans, there are two possibilities of danger. Can you visualize what would happen if the strip under us would break?
I haven't thought of that. You don't realize you're traveling at 100 miles an hour.
Well, it can't break, not now. The strip has a safety factor of over 12 to 1. This is good soup, Jake.
Thank you, Mr. Gaines.
But you know, Evans, a break did happen once in the early days. That was on the Philadelphia-Jersey City Road.
Dear me, no.
That's right. The strip wasn't much more than a conveyor belt then. You know, it buckled for miles, crushing passengers against the roof. Yeah. Forward section in front of the brake spilled them down under into the rotors and the rollers.
Was it very bad?
Over 3,000 people were killed in that break. But, Evans, the roads had to go on. You know, the entire economic system hangs on the roads. If they stopped now, the country would starve.
Isn't it possible that you've become too dependent on these roads, Mr. Gaines? For example, what if you had a strike?
We had a strike back in 75, but, well, there's not much danger of that anymore.
Oh, why not?
Every cadet that goes to work on the roads today is a graduate of the United States Transport Academy.
Oh, I see.
They're all picked men, screened for emotional stability. They're trained to give us the same kind of loyalty that Annapolis and West Point develop in their men.
You're a graduate, I suppose, Mr. Gaines?
No, I was too old for that. The academy wasn't set up till after the strike in 75. But it won't be long now, maybe 5 or 10 years, Evans, before the oldest engineer on the roads is a man who's been through that academy. Yeah, Gaines here.
Davidson. Chief, there's trouble in Sacramento, Sector.
What is it? What's happening?
Emergency stop. Hello, Davison. The phones must be out. Come on. Jake!
Hey, what is it? What's the matter?
Have everybody stay in the restroom, Jake.
What's that?
Probably somebody stepped onto the next strip. Got cut to ribbons. There'll be plenty of casualties. Jake, where's your getaway hat?
In the pantry.
Well, how am I going to help those people?
I've got the whole road to think of. Now, don't bother me. Give me a hand, Jake. This hatch is stuck here. All right, if you're coming with me, Mr. Evans, you've got to move fast. I haven't got any time to waste.
Where are we now?
Freeway on top of the inner road ceiling. That's the outer shell over us there.
Are we going outside?
No, there'll be an access-down manhole over here. They're spaced every 100 feet. It's there by the green light. Oh. All right, this will get us down on the northbound road. Careful now, it's dark.
All right.
Stand away from that door, Evan.
But this road is still rolling.
Yeah, so it is. It was only the 100-mile strip that stopped. There's what I want, a phone booth. Look out, Evans. Excuse me, will you?
Hey.
Out.
I'm talking to my wife. What?
Don't argue. Out. Emergency priority. Division office.
Davidson.
Gaines here. Report.
Chief, where you been? I've been calling.
Never mind that report.
709 report. Strip 20 past emergency level. Interlocks acted and cut the strip out. Cause of failure unknown. Direct communication to Sacramento control office out. Evacuation of strip 20 commenced. No casualties.
There are casualties. I saw them. Put police and hospital routine A into operation. Get me Van Cleek. I want him to take over for me till I report in.
We can't reach him, Chief. Shall I cut out the rest of the road?
No, keep those other strips rolling or we'll have a traffic jam the devil himself couldn't untangle. There are 5 million passengers on that road now. Notify the governor that I've assumed emergency authority. Arm all cadets available and await orders.
Shall I recall technicians off watch?
No, this isn't an engineering failure, man. That whole sector went out simultaneously. Somebody cut those rotors by hand. Now, I want all available senior class cadets to report to Stockton Subsector Office 10 with pistols and tear gas.
Yes, sir. Oh, the governor wants to talk to you. He called in.
Refer him to somebody else. I'm busy. I'll get back to you. I'm going down under. Evans! Put on this helmet!
What?
Helmet! This helmet!
No.
You can't hear without an anti-noise filter. All right, come on.
What are we looking for?
A recon car. There should be one here.
Are those the rotors?
Yeah, the big ones are rotors. They drive the road. The little ones are rollers. They give continuous support.
I see.
Oh, there's a watch gang now, jacking down a rotor.
Can they hear us?
No, the noise filter works on a 4-foot radius. I'll flash them. He sees the light.
Is that Wilson reporting, sir?
I want your recon car, emergency.
Yes, sir. Right over here, sir.
Come on, Evans. All right, now, get in.
Well, it's so small.
Well, you fit. All right. All right, now, hang on. She accelerates like a rocket.
Oh, my stomach. Oh.
Relay station.
This is Gaines. Get me Davidson, senior watch officer.
Mr. Gaines, the mayor wants to talk.
I haven't got time. Get me Davidson. Leave this circuit hooked into Davidson's board until I tell you to cut it.
Yes, sir. Here's the senior watch officer.
Davidson?
Gaines calling. Have you found out yet what's stopping the roads?
No, sir. It's still a mystery to me.
All right, I'm on my way in a recon car. Hold everything till I get there.
Cadet Edmonds reporting, sir. 3 platoons of cadet engineers standing by with tumblebug motorcycles.
Are they armed?
Pistols and tear gas is ordered.
All right, good.
Assistant Supervisor Van Cleek is calling you on Circuit 9.
Well, it's about time. Cut me in.
Yes, sir.
Hello, Van. Where are you?
Sacramento office. Now listen,
Sacramento. That's good. Report.
in a pig's eye.
What?
I'm not your deputy anymore, Gaines.
Van, what are you talking
Now,
about?
listen, don't interrupt me and you'll find out. It's true, Gaines. I've been picked as director of the Engineers Control Committee. We're taking over.
Have you gone off your rotor?
You can't start Strip 20 until I'm ready to let you.
Van!
I can stop the whole road if I have to.
Van Creek. I'll call in the Army.
How'll you get him here if the roads aren't rolling, eh? Listen, Gaines. Whoever controls the roads controls the country. And right now, that happens to be me. Sign off, Gaines. I've got to call the White House. You behave yourself. You won't get hurt.
I don't believe it, sir.
He's got us, Edmonds. If we go in and blast him out, he may wreck the road. What's your rolling tonnage now?
53% under evening peak, sir.
How about strip 20?
Almost evacuated.
Yeah. Listen in on this, Davidson.
Standing by, Chief.
I'm going down inside with these cadets. We're going to work north, overcoming any resistance that we may meet. The watch technicians and maintenance crews are to follow behind us. Each rotor, as they come to it, is to be cut out from under Sacramento's control, then hooked into the Stockton control board. You understand?
Got it.
Check.
If it works right, we can move control of Sacramento sector right out from under Van's feet. And he can stay in his office there till he's hungry enough to be reasonable. Edmonds, get me a pistol.
Mr. Gaines, there's a man here, and he's badly hurt. He wants to see you.
Take care of him. I haven't got time to...
He's from Sacramento sector.
What?
Sir.
Send him in here.
Mr. Gaines. Mr. Gaines.
Take it easy.
Mr. Gaines.
You're Harvey from the mechanics show.
Actually, I tried to warn you, tried to get away, shot me 3 times.
Get a doctor, will you? All right, now. Easy, Harvey. Harvey, how long has this been building up?
It isn't the men. It's the engineers. I told them they were crazy, told them the road's got to roll. And when I tried to get away...
Easy now.
Bleeding from the mouth, sir.
Harvey? Harvey? Can you hear me?
He's dead, Mr. Gaines.
Come on, Edmonds. We better move. All right, you man. You saw Harvey brought in. How many of you want a chance to kill the louse that did it? All right, man. Anybody who hasn't got his mind on his job will be in the way. Now, here's the order. We move north, mounted on tumblebugs. We're going to try to regain control, rotor by rotor, before Sacramento sector knows what we're moving. Now, we've got to capture any watch personnel we run on before they can get word back, you understand? Men, surprise is vital. Use tear gas when possible. Shoot only when necessary. But get them before they can reach a phone jack. Any questions? No? Then move out. What's the score, Edmonds?
33 prisoners so far. No one killed.
For years since I rode one of these tumblebugs, forgotten how to steer it.
There's a man ahead. There at the rotor base.
Yeah, he's got a phone jacked in. Hurry. If he gets word back, we're sunk.
I don't think he's seen us. I'll dismount and get him.
All right, Edmonds.
Halt! We're out fire!
Quick, he sees us.
Come here, you.
Look out, he's got a gun.
I got him, sir. I got him.
Grab his gun. Yeah, he had an intercom jacked in, all right. If he's got through to Sacramento office, it's going to be tough.
I don't know, sir. Maybe you can get the call through.
Listen,
The road.
take off your noise filter. There. It's the road. The road is stopping. Halt your men.
Hold. Hold up there. Hold up.
Edmonds, there's a recon car coming up.
Relay station call for Mr. Gaines in the recon speaker.
Give it to me.
Here you are, sir.
Gaines here.
Davidson here, Chief. Van Cleek's calling you.
Who stopped the road?
He did.
Oh, he did he? All right, cut Van Cleek into me.
You thought I was fooling, eh, Gaines? What do you think now?
All right, Van. The road is stopped. You've won this trick.
Then why don't you get smart and give up? You can't win.
You forgot something, Van. You can't lick the whole country.
Yeah? Gaines, I've got a switch button in my hand. If I'll push it, it'll blow 300 yards straight across the roads. And then for good measure, I'll take an axe and wreck the control station before I leave.
That's pretty drastic, Van.
Yeah? If I blow this charge in the middle of Sacramento sector, it'll get an awful lot of people. There are plenty of shopkeepers still on Strip 20. That row of apartment houses next to the road will go.
Now, look, Van, you don't want to blow the road, neither do I. Suppose, Van, I come up to your headquarters and we talk this over. Two reasonable men ought to be able to make a settlement.
Is this some kind of a trick?
I'll come alone, unarmed. My men will stay here.
All right. All right, Gaines. But one wrong move and I blow the road.
We've got to hurry, Dave. If I take too long, Van Cleek will get edgy and set off that charge.
I can't understand it. The psych tests are rigid. We've never had a failure in the Hum-Wadsworth-Burton method. Then suddenly a whole sector goes sour. How could Van Cleek get a whole crew of psych-cleared men to revolt?
It's easy, Dave. As my deputy, he was ex officio personnel officer for the whole road. He must have been faking psych records for years, transferring maladjusted men into his sector.
I've got that personnel record, Mr. Gaines.
Oh, thank you. This is Van's record here. Masked introvert, inferiority rating 7. Comment: in spite of potential instability shown on Wadsworth Curve, this officer is especially adept in handling men. He's adept, all right. I haven't got time for any more, Dave.
Chief, are you actually going up there to Van Cleek's office?
I've got to.
They'll be armed. They'll kill you.
I've got to take that chance.
Why don't you call in the Army? He won't dare blow the road then.
Yes, he would. Look at that psych record there. He's putting up a big, brave front, but he's rotten inside. He wants to be taken seriously. He wants everybody to think he's the most dangerous man in this country. If I call the Army in, he'll try to prove it by blowing the road.
But how can you stop him, Mr. Gaines? He'll have a gun. What'll you have?
What'll I have? Only a prayer. And what I know about Mr. Van Cleek.
All right, Gaines. Director Van Cleek will see you now.
Gaines, I want you to sign this now. It's a declaration of your recognition of the Engineers Control Committee. You've got 1 minute to sign it, Gaines, or I'll push this button and blow up the whole sector.
You better sign, Gaines.
You need this gorilla with the gun, Van?
Why,
Can't you handle one unarmed man alone?
All right, Harry, out.
But...
Out.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. Now sign. What's so funny?
You are, Van. You start a revolution because you think the engineers should control the road. Then when you've got control, the only thing you can think of to do is to blow it up. That's kind of silly, isn't it? Tell me what you're so scared of.
I'm not scared.
Yeah, sitting there sweating all over that push button that you're holding. If your buddies knew how afraid you were, they'd probably throw you into the rotor.
I'm not afraid.
You're afraid of me right now, Van. You're afraid I'll have you on the carpet.
Got 1 minute time.
You're afraid the cadets won't salute you. You're afraid that they're laughing at you behind your back.
No, I'm not. You keep quiet now. I've got a gun
Yeah,
here.
you're afraid of using the wrong fork at dinner. You're afraid people are looking at you, Van, laughing
I
at you.
am not. You dirty, stuck-up snob. Just because you went to a high-hat school, you think you're better than everybody, huh? You and your crummy little gold-braid cadet.
Van, you're a pathetic little shrimp. I understand you perfectly, Van. You're a third-rater. All your life, you've been afraid that someone would send you to the foot of the class, so you right out on your ear where you belong. I don't want to look at you anymore.
I'll show you. I'll put a bullet in you.
Put down that pop gun before you hurt yourself.
Don't you come near me now. Don't you come near. I'll shoot now.
Give me that, Van.
No, let me go, will you?
Give me that pistol. Yeah. I thought if I wounded your little ego, you'd forget to push that button and pull a trigger instead. I'm afraid you'll never make a good executive, Van. They have to know when to punch buttons. Gaines here.
Chief, are you all right?
Yeah, I'm all right. Attack now, Davidson. Mop up. I'll hold the control room. I've got Van Cleek. I think his little revolution is just about over.
Mr. Gaines.
Oh, Mr. Evans, I forgot about you.
I've been waiting at the sector office.
Yeah?
Is everything under control?
Yes, all's rolling. Those are the watch engineers going under to check Sacramento sector inch by inch now.
Remarkable organization. Remarkable.
Thank you.
Howley's in, Chief. San Diego Circle rolling. Bakersfield, Fresno, Stockton.
Stockton, oh. Oh, no.
What's the matter, Chief?
The trouble, Mr. Gaines?
There sure is. I promised to meet my wife at Stockton for a show. She's been waiting there since 9 o'clock last night.
Oh, dear me.
Dave, see if you can get her for me. Try the sector office.
All right, Chief.
And Dave, see if you can calm her down.
Oh, sure, Chief, sure. I'll tell her the roads must roll.
No, don't tell her that. I don't think she'd appreciate that. She's heard it too often. Well, I better get going. Bye, Dave. Keep 'em rolling.
Keep the road and the roadways go rolling along.
You have just heard another adventure into the unknown world of the future, the world of Dimension X. Next week, the strange story of the test pilot who became the first man ever to invade outer space, and of what he found when he got there. Listen next week to The Outer Limit. Tonight's adventures in Dimension X, The Roads Must Roll, was written by Robert Heinlein and adapted for radio by Ernest Kenoy. Featured in the cast were Wendell Holmes as Gaines and Ralph Bell as Van Cleek. Your host was Norman Rose. Music by Albert Berman, engineer Bill Chambers. Dimension X is produced by Van Woodward.
Check, testing. 1, 2, 3. Fuck it. And that's my cue. Here I am. How are we? I'm here. I'm weird. Get used to it. Oh, pardon my bong hit. Yep, we're still in the dark. We're still in the dark. Totally darkness. See if I can get a little light on the subject here. There's a little bit of light. There's a little bit of light. I can't give you too much light. If I did, it would be light in here. And then, no more and then. It's Friday. It is the 26th. The 26th. We haven't read any TV guide this week, which is alright, because we're going to... Well, I think we read a little bit. We're going to read it next week, because I don't have a TV guide for next week, I don't think. So, we'll get into it next week when we've got some light to read by. No worries. I'm whooped. Once again, life has gotten the better of me. I didn't want to move yesterday. My body was just revolting. How revolting. It was. Seriously. Where's my coffee? I need coffee. Give me coffee. Still on coffee bags today. No pot o' coffee yet. On my emergency reserve supply of coffee bags. I had to rescue them out of the van from camping. Still in my camping kitchen box there in the van. So I brought them in. I think today or tomorrow we'll get some more coffee grounds. When you got a backup, it means it's not so emergency coffee shortage. Totally. I've asked my house guest to stay longer if he'd like to get better before he travels, and he's going to stay an extra day. So there you go. So, no airport trip today. We're doing it tomorrow. So there you go. There you have it. There it is. We got multiple cameras going on here, but every camera's pretty much in the dark. So there you go. There you have it. There it is. Darkness. The only thing about the darkness is it makes it difficult to wake up. Usually when I start this show, I've got two giant bright ceiling lights on. And that makes it real easy to wake up, I'm telling you. It does. Boing, 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 boing. One light would be sufficient, but it would also probably shine right down onto my house guest. So there you go. Joey don't need no light while he's sleeping. And as long as I can sleep during my show, then I continue my show. So far, it's the last couple of mornings. He's been able to snore his way through my show, which you would think that most people would be kind of upset about that. How do you sleep? You slept through my show, man. Why do you do that? That's not nice. Me? I'm like, dude, sleep. My show's only important to me. It really is. It's only important to me. Other people find it entertaining, I guess, maybe. But for the most part, this is just for me. This is just for me. You know. could have canceled today's show, but that would have left me talking to myself all day. So, no, I gotta do this. Even if I just sit here and do nothing, I still gotta do it. I still gotta do it. I gotta work out the bugs from my brain. The bugs from my brain. I got bug brain. Totally, man. Fucking totally. Yeah, that's totally it, man. I'd love to sit and just talk to somebody from England one-on-one, right? As long as they didn't mind me mimicking everything they say, right? And trying to pronounce everything the way they pronounce it, right? Because I would. I do the same thing when I see my wife. Sometimes when I see my family, my wife's family, but not usually because they think I'm weird enough. So I don't need to, habla como un perico, talk like a parrot when I'm around them. So I don't, but I do it with my wife all the time, where she'll say something and I'll say it back to her. And what's really fun is when I throw it back to her in my Southern California valley talk. Habla español? No? Sí? Oh my God. Vaya que Dios. Totalmente. Yeah. Anyway. Hello out there to my fellow humans, brothers and sisters. We listened to a Robert Heinlein story from Dimension X this morning. One of my favorites, The Roads Must Roll, adapted from a short story. It is really cool how even back in the 1950, right? They said that within 5 years of that, the freeways are just choked with traffic, bumper to bumper. Cities are dying. People are just not moving. Nothing's moving anywhere, right? I think that's why they brought back the rail. They brought back rail transportation for goods. Was because the traffic getting in and out of the city is just crazy. I mean, you can put shit on a rail and it just boogies its way out of town. It's going slow, but it's moving. Yeah. You see a lot of stuff on rail now. Totally. And there's a couple of lines leading out of Southern California from like LA Harbor. We got a couple of trains that leave from there, and they boogie out through right out where we're at, right along the Interstate 10 freeway, and head out towards Arizona and parts unknown. And then there's one that boogies out and splits off from about the same area here in Southern California, and it takes off and goes northeast off towards Nevada, and heads north. So there's a lot of stuff shipping, not just on the freeways, but down on the rail too. It's fun to go sit and watch the trains go by and count, because you can get lost. It's like, what am I at? 67 or 69? I don't know. There's a lot of cars on these trains. Sometimes they'll have like 3 engines up front, 3 engines in the back, and then they'll even have like an engine or 2 in the middle, because there's just so many fucking trains, so many cars. You can't stop that. That's why they don't move too fast. When they get out into the desert, where it's just train rail out there in the middle of nowhere, that thing's booking. But when it's coming down through the city here, it's 25, 30 miles an hour. But it's moving. There's got to be an easier way to get from the East Coast to the West Coast and back, right? It's got to be an easy way. And cheaper, too. When are we going to get, like, teleportation devices where we could just step into a booth, punch in a destination, and zap? Now we walk out of a booth at that destination. What's that going to be like? Are we going to have such a thing? I believe there's probably such a thing already, just not. It's not a human device. I think it belongs to other creatures. And what does it do to you? Do you have to be genetically bred in order to go through this thing and survive it? Or will it work on anyone, anything, any living tissue? I don't know. I'm not saying I want to find out. I don't even like to fly. Why would I want my atoms broken down into nothing and then reconstituted in another place? When you're doing that, could you remove cancer? Because that would be beneficial, right? That's what a transportation device, like on Star Trek, that's one of the best uses for it, is the filter, the biofilter on it. It will just screen out anything that's not supposed to be there. A virus, a bug, a cancer, something. It'll just screen it out. Okay, it's no longer there. There you go. But then it gives you, what is that? Transporter psychosis. Poor Barkley. Poor Barkley. Dwight Schultz, the guy who plays Mad Murdoch on the A-Team, had a great reoccurring role, even in one of the movies, and over a couple of the series. Dwight Schultz played Barkley, who got the nickname Broccoli, but he was a neurotic dude that just was always freaked out about it. It was a perfect role for Dwight Schultz because he got to be weird, and he was great at being weird. Is Dwight Schultz still alive? See, now that would be heavy if Dwight Schultz was still happening. Dwight Schultz, American TV actor, and looks like he's still alive and kicking. That's nice. He's 77. Married since '83 to the same woman. Isn't that nice? That is great. That's sweet. Let me go to his IMDb, his Internet Movie Database page. And Dwight Schultz. He's still acting, okay. He's doing voices, video game. Wow. The last thing he did was 3 episodes of Wand La TV series. I don't know, something. It looks like he's been working steady. That's great, and he's doing a lot because he's got such a wide voice range of characters. All he seems to be doing is video games and cartoon voices. That's great. Hey, you take it where you can get it, right? And he's really good at voices. God, it's all Wolfenstein, Kung Fu Panda, Ben 10. It's just so much voice work. I mean, it goes on. How many credits are here? 228 credits to his name And most of that seems to be voice work. He plays a German doctor on the 18 movie in 2010. He's in all kinds of video games, all kinds of cartoons. Wow. He plays Heck the Rancher in a video game called Gun, and it is one of it's my favorite video game from 2000s. That's great. Also, who else is in that? The Gun video game has a lot. Chris Christopherson is in that. That's a great one. The Punisher, Battlestar Galactica, Star Trek Elite Force 2. I mean, he's just in every Animatrix video. He's just in so much stuff. I keep trying to get down to the 1980s, and I'm still in the 2000s. I just got to the 90s. Busy as hell through the 90s. My God, it just goes on and on and on. Down to the 80s, TV series, 97 episodes of Howling Mad Murdoch. Captain H.M. Howling Mad Murdoch. Wow. That's great. And before that, before the 18, he's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 credits. He's got 10 credits before the 18. After the 18, he's got 218. Is that crazy or what? The movie Thin Ice, Hill Street Blues, Chips, Dial M for Murder, The Fan, Bitter Harvest, Standing Room Only, Nurse, Alone in the Dark, When Your Lover Leaves, and then the 18. And When Your Lover Leaves seems to come right around the time he starts the 18. Wow. What a busy dude. What a busy dude. That's awesome. Dwight Schultz, everybody. Dwight Schultz. Actor. I think it's time to do a bong yet. Sitting alone in the dark. Yeah, I'm a bell and I'm sitting on Capitol Hill. Shut up. Don't do that anymore. Yep. That's it. That's what they all say. They all say don't do that anymore. And I just keep doing it. They should learn not to tell me don't do that. Because if you say don't do that, I'm gonna fucking do it. And if you say do it, I ain't gonna do it. It's just the way it is. Ask my wife. Totally. Ask any of my teachers growing up. Right? No, it ain't gonna happen. Ask anybody who ever told me, dude, you gotta see this movie. Dude, you have to. Dude, you gotta. And then I never did. I just never did. I didn't watch it, I swear. Well, eventually, maybe. Eventually. Yeah, baby. It really is. It's difficult to wake up in the dark. I'm just kind of in limbo. And I ain't dancing, man. It's another kind of limbo. Kind of like purgatory. Purgalimbo. Limbatory. Another day in the dark. Yeah, I'm used to it. I should be a mushroom. I should be a mushroom. Kept in the dark and fed shit. That's it, baby. What are you gonna do, huh? What are you gonna do? I don't know. Something. I wanna do something. I wanna do something. Fuck it, go to the drive-in or something. You know? I think it's still just that movie Demon Slayer playing. Right? I think that's it. Smith Ranch Drive-In. There it is. There we go. Let's see. I believe it's just, yeah. Demon Slayer. Friday, Saturday, and then Thursday. Oh, yeah. Now showing. Well, it doesn't say if it's last Friday and Saturday and this Thursday. But since there's nothing else... Okay, here we go. Starting Friday, September 19th. So it was last week. So that means, is there a new movie? These people are kind of slacked. I don't know if they're just going to continue. I know last week, one day, maybe it was 2 days, one day they were done. They could not have a movie because of the weather. So it's quite possible that they are repeating last week's menu. Muzan Kibutsuji. Alright. Nice. Demon Slayer Infinity Castle. It looks rather violent. Speaking of violent and weird, I was watching some Aeon Flux from the one that they had a late night, wasn't it MTV, that it debuted on late night MTV? Or maybe it was on the same channel they did Night Flight. You know, because they had some really great late night stuff during the 80s. Night Flight was one of them. Aeon Flux, Ren and Stimpy, Beavis and Butthead, that kind of stuff, late night. And then, of course, later it moved into the mainstream. But at first, it was only on late night. It's groundbreaking stuff, so it had to put in its dues, work on the late night before it got accepted during the day, and then was allowed to be on during the day. Yesterday, I left my cameras on. I turned my computers and TV and stuff off and ran out of here to go take a leak. And last night, I walked by my camera and went, oh, look, this one's on. And I came in the room later and went, oh, shit, those two cameras are on still. Damn it! People are going, what do you mean the cameras are still on? Don't worry, they're not hooked up to anything. Well, they are, but nothing's on. So, there might be cameras on, but they ain't going nowhere. They're just kind of stuck inside themselves because there's nothing on to accept the signal. The 26th after the 5 a.m. and it's the 26th of September 2025. Next year is the 250th birthday of this fine country of ours. And we've gone so backwards, I don't even know if it's worth celebrating. I don't think it's, I mean, they didn't celebrate Hollywood's 100th birthday, so why would they celebrate America's 250th? We better celebrate another time, because there ain't much to celebrate now. Oh yeah, there's a lot of zealots and sycophants out there going, yay, America! God bless America! We're so great! We're the greatest in the world! And we just ain't. We fall so far short of that, you know, especially with our own people, not to mention in the eyes of the rest of the world. So I don't think we really have much to celebrate anyway. So on that note, I'm going to do a bong hit. I'm going to cover myself because there's no one here. So next week, I'm going to get back into a little bit of side work. There's some plumbing work and tile work that came up, but I just could not deal with. It's like, no, that's I don't have the right stuff for that. I'd have to make too many trips back and forth. A plumber's going to show up. He's going to have everything in his truck. It's going to take him 20 minutes to do what's going to take me a day and a half to figure out what to do, right? It's like, now. And it's water behind tile in a wall. Do I want to be responsible for that thing leaking? Hell no. So give it to someone else. So I've already subcontracted out the tile work. Why not the plumbing? All I did was the demolition to find out that it was garbage, right? So now we're waiting on a plumber. So today we'll get a plumber and see when we can get him out there to deal with it. As of now, it's just an emergency plumbing problem, so we're just gonna close off that bathroom. That's it. Under repairs. Come again. Thank you very much. Please come again. So we'll do that. But I'm going to go do some painting, hopefully, this week. Hey. No, not that. Let me see. Sarah? Sarah. Is that correct? This is, if I am not mistaken. My house guest is asleep in my studio because my studio is my home living room. And he's sick. So Joey from Virginia is here. One of my irregulars. Ah, good. I thought it was Sarah. That's cool. See, my old brain does work. So he's asleep. He's sick. He came back from Chicago with my daughter with the flu. So he's staying an extra day, and he has just been sleeping in every day. Yeah, he seems to be doing better. You know, Mom keeps forcing him to drink lots of liquids and eat lots of food, so Mom's like that. So I'll give him your regards. But he's just been over there snoring. He woke up a little while ago and said, hey. But he knows that I'm addicted to YouTube, so I have to be here. So I've got my lights off so I'm not so in his face. And then I've got my microphone turned up so I can just speak at a nice low voice. And more than likely he'll just continue to sleep. We might even hear a snore at some point. So here I sit in the dark doing bong hits, drinking coffee, not really waking up. But I'm not asleep either. Totally. Well, thank you for joining me this morning. I'm so glad I remembered your name. Yeah, what was I talking about? Doing absolutely nothing, really. I'm going to go do some painting next week. I've been holding off on doing any work in hopes that I'd be around more to spend with my house guest. And we haven't really had a chance to. We're all kind of bummed out that everything was kind of screwy this time, and nobody has really had a chance to hang out with anybody. So last night we were going to go out to dinner, and I'd pretty much been in bed all day. Joey's sick, and my daughter's like, I don't want to get sick, and yada. So we just decided to bring home some food. So the kids had Mexican, and my wife and I had pizza, because that's what I felt like eating. Just a little a cheeseburger pizza. So that was neat. So we hung around and did that, and hopefully next week I will be still able to use my little baby fingers. I started playing the guitar again, so my fingers are trying to get used to that again. So I call them baby fingers. They're really sensitive, and they get blistered and calloused and stuff. So, but I have been learning a new song, and it turns out it's one of Joey's favorites. Listen to the Music by the Doobie Brothers. One of my favorites since I first heard it as a kid. Saw it in concert in '79, and I always wanted to learn how to play it because of that bitchin' guitar, right? Just that great guitar rhythm on the acoustic. So last Friday, it dawned on me that I should learn it. And then Saturday, I looked it up and played around with it and thought, okay, this is possible. And then by Sunday, I played it all day Sunday. And then, of course, after I played it on Monday morning, I went to work and poked my pinky with a broken glass and couldn't play for a couple of days. But the last couple of nights, I've been trying to get back into it. And it's one thing if you play all the time, but when you take months and years off because of depression, it's hard to come back to it real easily. But it's getting easier and easier because I try not to put it down for too long. Good morning, WW. William, Sarah, William. And Joey's here. He's asleep still. But I do have an in-studio guest, off camera, unmiked, and asleep. But he's here. He's going to be here till tomorrow. And I am going to be here until later on this morning. Yeah, let's do that. And then next week, we'll have light. And most importantly, we'll have more content, because I haven't had a chance really to get into planning a lot of stuff this week and the whole month, really, because it's just been a crazy month. So hopefully next week we'll begin kind of a new chapter of the end of the year, because we're just working up every time we get to the holiday season. Yeah, Joey's still sick. He's on the mend, but he's going to stay here an extra night before he flies back to Virginia. And then it'll probably be a few days before he's back on the show, because he's got to go back, be sick, do a bunch of important work stuff, and try to do that while being sick and recuperating from all of the jet setting. Most mornings I feel like a horrible host, because my house guest is sick, and every morning I fill the house with The sound of my voice, the smell of coffee, the smell of marijuana, the smell of incense. Joey don't smoke. Joey don't smoke. He's a good kid. In fact, I'm the only bad one in my family. Yeah, he got the Chicago, what do we want to call it? The Chicago shit. Yeah. My daughter is trying desperately to avoid getting it, which just makes it even worse, you know, not being able to hang out, right? So, there you go. But we're making do. I believe the plan is Joey's going to come back in December, and then hopefully in the spring we will be able to, as a family, figure out a different thing, because this house is really too small. It really is. They had fun. They had a blast. They have a friend who lives there, or my daughter has a friend who lives there, so she was their host. You know, unfortunately it was one guy and two girls, and it was all girl. So Joey was bored shitless. I mean, literally just had a miserable fucking week. So, well, why not top it off with feeling miserably sick, right? So this is probably hopefully this is the worst trip he'll ever take, and it'll be done and out of the way, and he can put it in the can, and then hopefully move on and have better trips. Homeless in the street. You know what? I did not ask. My daughter, of course, she said that there's a lot of dogs, and she pointed out a lot of dogs, and she saw a lot of dogs, because we're dog people. They also went to the cat arcade, the catcade, and they hung out, and you just go in there and you just play with cats, and that's it. That's the place. You go in, you hang out, play with cats. So they did that. So there aren't, I would imagine there aren't too many homeless dogs and cats in that city, which is cool. People, I would imagine there probably are. There are probably areas of Chicago where there are a lot of drugs and people passed out in the street, just like in Kensington and in L.A. And San Francisco, and pretty much every major city you go to, you've got that epidemic of drugs and homelessness, right? And of course, it's against the law, and you're insane if you're homeless. So they're going to start rounding them up. Easy peasy. Just, you know, classify them as less than, and then you can just start rounding them up, putting them in re-education camps, concentration camps, work camps, whatever you want to call it. You know, pretty much the end of the road for a lot of people. Feral cats are everywhere. We have a lot we used to have a lot in our neighborhood. Now we only have a couple of stray cats, and they're not feral. They're strays. They live alone by themselves, but they do come around, and they'll let you feed them, and occasionally they'll let you touch them on the nose. Yeah. It is sad. It is sad. What do? How do you look at it, you know? Do you look at it as a problem? Do you look at it as natural selection? Do you look at it as something that society creates and ignores, which is how I look at it? You know, the society, we allow the powers that be to sculpt a society that not everybody can live in. Not everybody can be successful in. You know, it's like giving a test to all of the animals in the animal kingdom, and this is an equal test, and it is climb up into this tree and grab a banana. Well, how many of the animal species are going to be able to pass that test, right? There you go. That's the way they've got it set up, so that not everybody can succeed. Not everybody gets an even chance. And it starts from birth. It starts from programming in public schools, and and television, and they used to call Chirac because the murder rate was so high. Oh, sure, Chi-Town has always been a hot spot, if you will, for murder and mayhem, right? Murder and mayhem. You know what? It really has. And unfortunately, it's our fault, my fault, your fault, Sarah's fault. It's everybody's fault. Everybody. We all have to take responsibility and change it. And it starts at home. It starts in community. It starts in our hometown. And if there is some kind of chance left, it's got to start from the bottom up, because it ain't starting from the top down, man. Only shit rolls downhill. We need to get together as brothers and sisters and deal with this. Yeah, thank you, Al Capone, and thank you, Geraldo Rivera, for finding nothing in the Al Capone vaults. But we really need to get together and find out, if there's still a chance. Because it's pretty slim. And we have the ability with smartphones. We have the ability to get everybody on board. But those same devices are dividing us, because it's so easy to throw crap at people that they just gobble up, and then it becomes them. And then there's no changing them. It feels like there's no... Most of them are just gone now. 9 out of 10 of those people who have been reprogrammed to just hate for no reason. It's almost like they're gone. How do you have to start with the children, because the children are malleable. They can be changed. They can be sculpted. And when the children have hate at home, it just doesn't get any better. But if they can spend, that 8 to 10 hours a day away from home and be programmed to love and care, that's going to make the difference. And we just don't do that anymore at school, right? We don't. I'm not saying that we need to put prayer back in school or pledge allegiance to the flag and God and all. That's nothing. That's rhetoric, okay? That's just dogma. What we need to do is actually, we've been doing that for enough years and it ain't gotten us any. We need to do more than that. We need to change schools completely from the beginning until they graduate. And it has to first start off with how to care for each other the first couple of years. ABCs, 1, 2, 3s, and care about you, care about me, right? Let's do that first. Let's teach kids how to take care of each other and themselves and their family, along with those early, academic lessons. And then there should only be about 8 years, really, worth of learning the normal crap, reading, writing, arithmetic, history, science, all of that stuff. Because essentially, if you boil it all down, it's really easy to get it into their heads, right? It's by the time they get into junior high and high school, they should be thinking about some kind of direction. And if not a direction, then some kind of alternate direction until they do figure it out, Barney, like, I love you, you love me, stick it out, I'll whack you in the pee. I don't know. Am I sounding like Barney? No, really. I mean, we really need to take care of teaching our children love and patience and understanding first, because they're... We are a happy family with a knick-knack, paddywhack, give your dog a bone, this old man came home. Yeah, I know, they stole all those songs. It's just... By the time they graduate high school, they should have a trade, or they should be going into a graduate school to learn exactly what they need to know to be that: a doctor, a lawyer, And then eventually we should be able to abolish all lawyers and judges, because at some point everybody should be able to self-judge and self-regulate, right? And until that happens, we're just fucked, because we're going to just keep creating a system that just eats people up. You know, bureaucracy for bureaucracy's sake is not, it's not viable. It's not gonna last. It's not gonna work. Oh yeah. See, now I want to have a Barney T-shirt, right? A total Barney T-shirt. That would be cool. I'm gonna go heat up my coffee before I do this bong hit. Don't go anywhere. I'll be right back. No, really. Shh. Bitch. That I stretched. I think I broke myself. Oh, jeez. Let's see. I believe Sarah did tell me where she was from, but that I do not remember. I do not recall, nor do I recall her birth year. So there you go. Virginia. Hey! Virginia. All right, everybody call in. Here's, oh, Northern Virginia. Yeah. And I'm going to do mine. SoCal. That's me. Oh, see, you guys aren't too far apart. It seems as though my house guest is awake. Virginia. Anybody ever seen that movie, John Carter of Mars? It's about the Princess of Mars, right? Great movie. Great movie. The suburbs. Oh. Ain't that the way? See, that's what I'm saying about community. If you have community, then you've got a bunch of people working together to make life easier on the whole, right? That's not the way it's set up nowadays. You know, I think a group of people working in a neighborhood to take care of that neighborhood as well as the people in it, that's community. Ooh, that's way up there. Shenandoah, Shenandoah. Ah, see? There you go. Well, come on by. We'll have a party. There you go. All right. I'm just going to watch. Sounds gross. What was that comment about? It sounds gross. Was it something I said? I hope. Totally. What, living close to the city? Gross. Well, I might be able to get permission to turn on a light at some point this morning. Well, thank you, Sarah, for that comment. That's great. I'm glad you feel the same. It's just so hard to get people to think that way, right? You know, cities are alright to visit, but they just breed so much distance, right? It's like the people are so close, but community completely dissipates the more people you have in one area. And it's so hard to get people. You know, what you have to do is you have to reach out to your neighbors, and you just have to create a sense of community with your closest neighbors, and then your not so close neighbors. Try to get in touch with everybody on your block, you know, and give them your phone number or your card or something, and say, hey, look, if there's anything ever going on in the neighborhood, and you know, you need to let me know. Let me know. If you're ever going to leave town, shoot me a text, and I'll watch your house while you're gone. You know, let's have a block party and get everybody together and network how to make the neighborhood better. That's so funny. That's so funny. And the fact that he's over here now. Joey's all the way over here, and he's got a new neighbor over there. What would be really funny is if somebody from down the street from here logged in. That would be really weird. That would be hilarious. Yeah, this is great. This is totally funny. Oh my god. Oh my god. All right. Well, I'm slightly tempted to turn on a light for the last hour of the show, so we'll leave it up to Joey if we're going to turn on a light. Of course, he's still going to be off camera. It just means he'll have to put on his sunglasses or something, because it'll get fucking bright in here. Actually, I just turned the light on over my head, and then what never happened? Oh my god. W, what never happened? Oh, really? You've never had a local? No, I have. Live on the show, in studio, but not in the comments. And not on the morning show. I've never had a live in-studio guest, except for Joey, on the morning show. And I've never had a local from my home, from my town here. I have had people from here in my area, bright light, watching the show, but they didn't want to chime in. I've had friends from childhood friends in the comments. One of my childhood friends that I grew up with in Lake Elsinore, California, and he's in Ohio, and he showed up on the show one morning in the comments. I have a friend that's just a few minutes south of where we grew up in Marietta, California, and he chimed in one morning. And then I'm sure I've had a few others that have been here, but I've never had anybody here in my town within minutes of me comment or show up at 5 in the morning and say, hey, I want to be on your show. But it was neat to have some friends, some old friends, on the show. I wish I could get more, but at the same time, the whole reason I set this up at 5 to 7 a.m. middle of the week is that nobody's really going to be paying much attention locally. And that kind of gives me a break so that I can say, well, it's because I'm at this time that they never show up. And I'll let it go as that. That's the reason. Yeah, that's it. That's the reason why. Not that nobody really cares, but that nobody knows. Nobody's aware. Totally. Yep, doodle. Yep. Yeah, the dark shows are weird. Usually I've got all the lights on. Call 'em out there when you can interview me on your... Oh, cool. That's what Joey said, but it never seems to work out. We were hoping to do something this week, some gaming or something, but, you know, the flu to kind of trumps all cards, so we're done. That's it. Game over. We'll figure something out. I mean, it's not the last time he's going to be here, so... and maybe at some point I can create a community where it's like a little village of tiny homes and a bunch of people all from different areas kind of coming together to live. That would be neat, you know. I'll be back. He is now the Terminator. He's going to come back. Yeah, we've been talking about cats and stuff lately, and someday, I want to get one of those Bobcat Lynx things that's just it's like bigger than a Labrador, right? Just a big badass cat, right? Something that it looks at you and you shit your pants, right? That's a cat. That's what I want. Yeah, baby. When it purrs, the floor vibrates, right? Yeah. Oh, baby. I love cats. I love dogs, too. I'm kind of into just about any kind of animal. I'd love to have a pet raccoon or a pet squirrel, you know? Some kind of weird animal that's not necessarily... Give me your clothes. I want your clothes. Give them to me now. Yeah. Sure, dude. You're just a big naked muscle. I'm gonna say no. Here, take them. Go ahead. I'll just go over here and pee on myself and, you know. One day we'll have a cat. We'll have a cat farm. Yeah. All right, should I turn on a light? Yay or nay, Joey? You let me know. Because I might actually start to wake up. Here it comes. 6 o'clock's coming up. Yeah, I think we need to do that. I think we need to get kind of a communal organization. All right, let's do a light. All right, the eyes have it. So I'll just turn my light on here, and that'll make it easier. Joey, hey, there we go. Bright light. We'll see, he can just pull a blanket over his head. It's not too bright. Well, I guess it is. It blinded me for a second. Wow, that's a wake up. Another Peanuts shirt on. These guys, I love these guys. It's totally some of my guys. All right, here we are. Let there be light beer. Oh, jeez. All right. I'll do that. Hey, you know what? Bingers for all, as WW would say. Here we go. Whoa. And as Billy Crystal would say, you look marvelous, darling. And Zsa Zsa Gabor. Simply marvelous. Simply marvelous, darling. Yeah, I've been watching a lot of A-Team lately, because they kick ass. And that Dwight Schultz, man. I was trying to explain to my wife the significance of Mr. T. And the fact that he came out of nowhere. He came out of a show called The Real People, right? Real People. I think that was the show. And they did a segment on the what do they call it? Bar bouncer competition. And he was just a bouncer doing that competition. And he got on and they did a piece, a little short piece on him. And they had to actually come back and do it again because, shortly after that, Stallone put him in, what was it, Rocky 2, right? And then, boom, he's up on the A-Team, and then he gets his own cartoon, right? And then he's on Saturday morning cartoons. It's crazy. Crazy. Soldiers of Fortune. Let me see, Jean-Claude Van Damme and Dolph Lundgren. No, that's Universal Soldiers. Universal Soldier is Dolph Lundgren and Jean-Claude Van Damme. Soldiers of Fortune. Refresh my memory. At Green Acres. Just a dog's shake down from what was that? Something Junction. Dirk Benedict. His face. He did a great movie. Parking attendant movie. Where he was just one of the parking attendants, and they had a bunch of other weird characters and people showing up and leaving and stuff, and a room they were using for hoochie coochie stuff. Yeah, funny movie. I can't remember the name of that one. I like Valley Parking or, Sunset something. Totally. I need a little input. Give me some input. And then I'll dig some garbage out of my brain to throw at you. It's so weird sitting here in the light. It is. After, 3 days of darkness, he comes out of the light. Or out of the dark, into the light. He got through the tunnel. I think we're gonna make it, boys. We just gotta push on, push on. I think I see some light. Oh, no, that's one of those glowing bugs. No, really. What was the funny guy's name? Murdoch. Yeah, that was Murdoch. H.M. Howling Mad Murdoch, played by Dwight Schultz. Yeah, I was talking about him this morning. He's one of my favorite character actors from TV. He's got like 228 credits up into the present. 77 years old, still working, still doing voice work. And has been working steadily since his 11th role when he became H.M. Howling Mad Murdoch. The guy's just been staying busy. Once you get over 100 credits to your name, that's pretty good. Especially someone at that age. But 228, granted, a lot of that is voice work on cartoons and video games and stuff, but damn, dude, the dude never stops. And he's just never stops with the voices. He's just all voices. He is Murdoch. He is a crazy dude. Crazy, man. He's so crazy. You think I'm crazy? He's fucking nuts. Yeah. I guess it's easy to play those characters when it's not a real stretch, Totally. Yeah, it's still one of my favorite 1980s action shows. If not my favorite. It would probably be, if we're talking 1980s, it would probably be that one for sure, up in the top 10. Next Generation Star Trek, that would be up there in the top 10. I don't know how to organize them as far as 1, 2, and 3 and that kind of stuff, but I can give you an idea of what's, the leader, Hannibal Smith, John Hannibal Smith, and he was played by George Peppard, a great, accomplished movie actor and TV actor. He did Banachek, right? He was Banachek, the Polish detective. And that's how he was billed back in the 70s. Banachek, the Polak dick. That was hilarious. And they always made reference to his diet and his lineage and stuff, and it was hilarious. Don't think because I'm a Polak, you can get away with it. Is my show going to get censored by the AI because I've said Polak too many times? I thought it was a fish. No, that's Pollock. Or is that haddock? I think I'm getting a haddock. Kill me. Much too much. Somebody stop me. Oh, totally. Yeah, great classic theme song. Yeah, everything about the show, their guests, I mean, what other show had Boy George on, right? Where do you get Boy George on one of the most masculine adventure shows on TV in the 1980s, and their guest is Boy George, and they have to make him look butch. He has to seem butch, right? And they do. They give him some lines that really make him seem like he's a butch street punk, and not what he assumed he was. Peter Falk. Peter Falk was always, to me, he was always doing kind of a slow Humphrey Bogart, right? When he was doing Columbo, he was doing like a slow, weird Bogart. In fact, Peter Falk actually did a movie, acting the whole movie as Bogart. I can't remember what it was called. I don't remember. It was one of his lines was the name of the movie. One of the famous Bogart lines. I think that was the title of the movie. Kiss Me Sweetheart or some shit like that. The Mask. Yeah. I was just referred to The Mask the other day because when I put my teeth in, there are a lot of teeth, and it makes me, when I grin, it makes me think of that movie. Yeah. Which is kind of weird to think of yourself as that green monster. That's not a stretch either. It's easy to watch Shrek and imagine myself as Shrek because I've always been kind of Shrek-like. Yeah. Casablanca, that's a good one. For me, I've got a lot of favorite Bogart movies. Maltese Falcon is one. The Treasure of Sierra Madre is another. Of course, The African Queen is another. Well, yeah, he died at 56 of cancer. Just cancer and liver, and just wheezed out, man, because he was just hard on his body. I ain't too far behind. Seriously, if I was drinking whiskey, they'd be throwing dirt in my face. But yeah, I had my run with cigarettes. I switched over to pot and gave up everything else. But yeah, geez. Lauren Bacall, she kicked around for a long time after he passed away, right? And boy, were there a rowdy couple. Sheesh. Yeah, I just watched a documentary on Katharine Hepburn. You could call me Kate on Netflix. And in her memoirs, she referenced the African Queen and getting that work and them putting that movie together and picking the people for it. She was perfect for that because she was so aristocratic, and you know, she had to go out of her way to be liked in Hollywood just because she was so snooty, you know. And moviegoers were really initially turned off by her until she did Philadelphia Story, where in the first scene, what's his face, walks right up to her and grabs her by the face and just pushes her to the ground, just shoves her to the ground, and it totally put her, Katharine Hepburn, as an actress in her place. So then she was accepted by the audience, which was that was brutal. Yeah, shooting African Queen. I don't think they shot it in Africa, right? I think they did it in some jungle in South America or something. But yeah, I wouldn't want to do that. I wouldn't want to do a movie like Platoon. No. Yeah, she was quite a lady. Definitely different. But the thing about her that nobody really liked back then was that she was her own, and she wouldn't give in to the bullshit. And if she wanted to wear pants and fly a plane and smoke big cigars, she was gonna fucking do it, you know. And nobody was gonna tell her different. She was raised with 4 brothers, and she had to compete with them. And the fact that when she was a little girl, she cut her hair short and hung out with her brothers, and they called her Bob or something, you know. And that was weird, you know. And that the fact that everybody thought she was a lesbian because she wore pants. And she was not a lesbian. She never had any affinity towards being a lesbian. She just was so much into herself that people looked at her that way. Yeah, that's why she's badass, because she didn't take any shit. And because of that, people used to say a lot of things. And among them was, well, she must be a lesbian. Look at her, right? And that just wasn't true. I mean, they said the same thing about Amelia Earhart, and she had male lovers, right? It's possible that she could have been bisexual, Amelia Earhart, but not Kate Hepburn. She was not a lesbian. She was just a very, very strong woman. And most men, when they see that, they go, she's a lesbo. So, you know, I thought she was just a tough chick, you know, really. All growing up, you know, I knew what gay and lesbian was. I knew what that was. I never saw her as that. I just saw her as a strong chick. She'd fly and she'd shoot and golf and play sports and do anything that a man could do, right? And of course there were women who came along who were lesbian. Billie Jean King, right? Is that what her name was? The tennis girl, woman. Yeah, you know, strong. Sometimes strong gets you a moniker that you didn't think you'd earn. Nowadays it don't matter. Nobody gives a shit about, you know, who's what or what's what or what parts you got where. It just don't matter anymore. Of course, there are still a lot of people who want to tell a lot of people what to do with their parts and how they should see their own parts, how they should see themselves. You know, once again, we're falling short with ourselves, with, you know, taking care of each other. You know, when you can look at somebody and then see something that you don't like that really has nothing to do with you, right? It's like, so they wear pants and shoot and play golf. Yeah. She was never married to Spencer Tracy. They were never married. When he died married to somebody else, right? And when he died, he was with Katharine Hepburn. And she actually, the first person that she called was his wife. And they had never met. And when they finally did meet, and after the funeral and everything, Kate went up to her and said, I hope, I'm not being too forward, but I hope we can be friends. And Spencer Tracy's wife said, woman, until you called me that day, you were just a rumor in the tabloids. Wow. I never want to talk to you. That's heavy. So they never had a relationship, the two women. But they were never married. They were lovers. They were secret lovers. That was it. And it was because Spencer Tracy liked strong women. And she liked strong men. And that was it. You know? That was a heavy... When I heard that, I was like, wow, man. The fact that she was so strong to say, hey, let's be friends. And his wife just said, no fucking way, man. I don't blame her at all. To all of a sudden, at his death, find out that the last, 15 or 20 years, or however long they were together, was a fucking lie. Crazy. Fucking outrageous. And Kate Hepburn, she did have a female friend who lived with her until she died. And that maybe led to a little speculation, but they were just friends. It was a lady that she had befriended, and then she came to live with her, and Kate kind of looked at her as kind of a woman companion, you know. Oh, go get somebody something to drink, and go do this and go do that, and one day she just stood up and said, no, I will not do it. Get it yourself. I'm not your servant. Are we friends? I'm not your... Do it yourself. Totally. Guess who's coming to dinner? That's a pretty heavy one. I like Spencer Tracy's end monologue where he renounces racism and bigotry and all that, and says that, you know, essentially that people who look at people because of their color are just ridiculous. And Kate Hepburn, her character, gets all weepy. Yeah, that's like one of his last really good roles. Of course, she went on to do all kinds of stuff, and one of her last great roles was on Golden Pond with Henry Fonda. Weird. I never watched that whole thing. The Lion in Winter. Was he in that? Yeah, I'll have to see if I can dig that up. That's heavy. That's heavy. Yeah, Spencer Tracy. I liked him in his real early stuff. Didn't he do a movie called Boys Town? Right? I think he did. Wasn't Mickey Rooney in that? Shit, am I gonna look it up now? Oh, damn it. Gotta look up this stupid shit. Hick-a-dack-a-dink-doo, daddly-doo, boogity-boo-boo, baggity-boo, doodly-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo, Boys Town, Boys Town, 1938, Spencer Tracy. Yep, there he is. There he is, 1938, Spencer Tracy, and Mickey Rooney. Wow, the old brain is still working. What do you know about that? Yeah, boys, get them together, boys. Yeah. Martin Spellman as Skinny. Wow. These kid actors. Yeah, that was a good movie. I like the idea of a boys' town. That was great for orphans and kids from the street and stuff to go and learn how to become men, right? And Spencer Tracy at the helm of that movie as the guy who gives a shit. That's like that, that Fred McMurray movie about the guy who created the Boy Scouts. Follow Me, Boys, or something like that was the name of the movie. And they show him throughout the years starting the Boy Scouts, and then how it grew into a big thing, and the different scouts that came back to thank him for stuff. And yeah, that was cool to see. Let's see where he lost the picture. Oh, see, now I don't remember that. I saw the movie once back when it was new, back on like HBO or something. But I only saw it once, so I don't remember that scene. Okay, now I remember it. Yeah. Yeah. That is kind of... Sometimes I feel like that. I told my wife and daughter, look, there may come a time when I'm going to say, hey, look, it ain't working good anymore, so I'm going to stop driving, you know. Because sometimes I'll be driving for like a split second. I'll be like, where the fuck am I? Who are you? What is this? Oh, an Eagle Scout. I'm a Boy Scout. I never got any further than being a Boy Scout. My brother was a Webelow. I guess that's just above a Boy Scout and below an Eagle Scout. Am I correct? But yeah. I was in the Scouts. I just didn't get that. I didn't get that far. You know. I didn't enjoy it. While the den mother was nice, she was polite. The other boys. I mean, I was a weird kid. I was a weird looking kid. They dressed me in like thrift store clothes, and yeah, it was. Let's see. I think I might even have a picture of me. Oh, here we go. There's a picture of me as a scout. The eagle is as high as you can go. See? There you go. I don't know. I can go a lot higher. Alright. So here I am. Oh my God. Look at the face on this thing. Alright, here we go. There's me as a Cub Scout. That's as far as I got. I think I was there less than a year. My brother worked his way up pretty quick because he was, he was rowdy. I mean, he would just be able to do anything, right? But, yeah, me, not so much. That's total Southern California haircut there. Yeah, that was me. That's one of my better pictures. There are some pictures where I'm scary to look at. Well, I mean, there's this one here. That's not too scary, I guess. But that's definitely several years later. Totally. I did some changes as I grew up. I went through a lot of changes. Of course, when you're looking for yourself and you don't know who the fuck you are to begin with, you had the same uniform in Cub Scouts. That's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, I was a scared, lonely little kid. So I had to pretend a lot to fit in. I would pretend that I could fit in so that I could fit in. And I did. Humor is what got me through. I was always trying to say stupid shit. Every once in a while I try to pull a stupid prank, but mostly it was stupid shit. Stupid blah blah blah. Not much different from now. a lot of noises. I did a lot of noises growing up, making a lot of mouth noises, imitating people, because I saw other people doing impersonations on TV and stuff, and I thought, well, they're getting laughs, you know, and then I would see kids on TV shows doing impersonations. So, like on the Little Rascals, right? Yeah. So I thought, what the hell? I'll just be funny, and then people will like me. What's my sun sign again? Oh, I'm a Leo. Yeah. I'm a total Leo. Totally. Yeah. I'm an octogenarian. What? You're not 80. Shut up. No, really. I'm a vegetarian. No, that's not your sun sign, boob. That's your occupation. No, it's not. I should have been a stand-up comic. Yeah, but I can't stand up that long. Ah, jeez, can I sit down? Can I be a sit-down comic? That's what I am. I'm a sit-down comic. No, I could never get my shit together enough to be a stand-up. And besides, being up on stage scares the shit out of me. Sitting on my couch playing in front of somebody scares the shit out of me. So this here is easy. Okay, see, there you go. I'm made for this stage. That's the stage I'm made. Yeah, couch comic. Yeah. After you've done this for, I'm going to say upwards of 500 shows, it gets pretty easy just to get on and be yourself, right? And I used to always say this is the realest reality show there is, because there's no filter. I mean, this is it. This is as real as it gets, you know. They're the entertainers of the Zodiac, right? Right, exactly. We're the court jesters of the stars. Totally, eh? I'll drink to that. I better go heat this up so I can enjoy it. I'll be right back. Talk amongst yourselves. Jerry Garcia was a Leo. That's right. That's right. I forgot about that. Robert Plant. He's got my birthday, Robert Plant. My brother Robert has my birthday. Well, I got his birthday. Right. Hey, dude, what's up? Okay, I'm back. Oh, don't say back. Oh, it's my spine. My spine. No, the 20th. The 20th. Yeah. It's totally. Yeah, okay, real quick. My brother was born in 66, August 20th. I was born 68, August 20th. My sister was born 1970, August 10th. Supposedly 10 days premature. Yeah, for some reason, there's a calendar in my mother's uterus. I don't know what the deal is. So birthdays. every year we had 2 Christmases. There was birthday season and Christmas season. On the cusp. How dare you? I'm not on the cusp. I swear. I'm not even on medication, okay? Not anymore. Shut up. Speaking of medication, it's time to get medicated, baby. Oh no, Sarah, your dad was born August 20th. See? There is a weird connection. You know? There is a weird connection. At Joey, he's actually seen August 20th on a calendar before. I mean, is that weird or what? That is crazy. The connections. You know? It's just bizarre. It's totally weird. Weed is a medication. It's been my medication since this kid. Since this kid right here. That kid. Is that scary or what? The dead eyes, like a doll's eyes. There you go, a little Robert Shaw for you. Thank you, William, for that. I remembered Robert Shaw. Woo! I had to watch a little bit of Jaws the other night. It's crazy, man. It's totally crazy. Yeah, Robert Shaw was born. And then he died. Uh-oh. Here you go. Crazy eyes. I keep looking into my monitor here. Now I'm looking at crazy eyes again. There you go. Yeah, I wasn't a difficult kid, but I was definitely different. This is right about the time that I found out about marijuana. Right about that time. That's about the 5th grade, maybe the 6th grade. But yeah, if you look real close at my eyes, you can already see bags and rings under my eyes, because by here the insomnia has really started to take hold. And yeah, I was kind of in a dark place here. I really was. I was bullied a lot. I was really bullied. Oh, when you look like this and everybody else looks like, you know, frickin' June and Ward Cleaver's offspring, it's just nope. No siree. So I'm almost a Virgo. How dare you? Maybe I'm not. Maybe I never, ever, ever. No, really. I did. At one point, I did. So maybe I am. What's he talking about? I don't know. Yeah, seriously, when I start to lose it, and I'm aware of losing it, the hair. Yeah. There were a lot of kids who bullied me because of the way I looked, right? And I had to take on this this air of this persona that I was just fucking crazy. And so I would get a reputation as the crazy kid, wild child, you know, Charles Manson's kid. They would call me all kinds of stuff. But I would embrace the stuff that made me seem unapproachable, right? stay away from that kid, he bites. And then I'd snap my fucking teeth at him. If that's what they think about me, then I'm going to give them that, and I'm going to take it further. And that was the drama queen in me. That was me using whatever I had to save my ass, because it was either be meek and get the shit beat out of you, or be crazy and have the bullies bully you, but from a distance. You can deal with somebody calling you a shit face, but when they're calling you a shit face, when they're rubbing your face in the shit, that's different. If they think that you're going to bite them, they don't come near you. So yeah, I used it. I kept I cultivated the crazy look. I would have been an entertainer. I am an entertainer. What are you talking about? All right, that's it. Them's fighting words, buddy. I would have been an entertainer. I'm the most entertaining entertainer I know. I crack myself up daily. My wife never goes an hour without laughing. I can put a smile on a stranger's face from 50 paces, right? You are not entertained. Thank you. Oh, jeez. Always from the Peanut Gallery, WW. Still a Leo. Once a Leo, always a Leo. Man, maybe I'll die on my birthday. Wouldn't that be awesome? Oh, yeah. Not just that, but the actual time of my birth. If you can believe a piece of paper. No, really. I have to think that I'm entertaining. If not, what the hell am I doing here? No, really. No, really. At least I entertain myself, and that's the key. That's the most important thing, is to just entertain myself. It's like just gratification. I'm just jerking off here. That's it. Nothing big. Just having a ball. Whee! What else are you going to do with your life? Work? Slave? Do what society expects of you? Oh, hell no. I did that long enough. I just want to fuck off now. Well, fuck off then, dude. I'm there. Snoopy? There we go. Snoopy? Take me home. Alright, I wasn't always an evil-looking dude. At one point, I looked like this. Aw, isn't that cute? Isn't that cute? So this is when I lived in Watts. South Los Angeles, Compton, Manchester Avenue Elementary School, right there in the South Central Watts. Really, just a stone's throw from the Watts Towers. And I was so bullied here, so bullied. You can actually see sleep deprivation under these little eyes here as well. It goes way back with this kid. My fake smile, the smile that I perfected even as a youth. And if it weren't for the 6th grade black girls in the school, because it was all black kids. There was only one other student in my whole, not just grade, but everything below the 6th grade, right? It was me, a little white girl in my class, and then my brother, and then I think there was one other white kid in the school, and that was it. And I used to get beat up and picked on and just bullied, right? And if it weren't for those girls, I wouldn't be able to walk home safe. You know, the walk to school with my brother was so scary because he would just take off, right, and leave me running trying to catch up, and I'd be, you know, eventually at some point alone walking the rest of the way to school by myself. Yeah, so cute, so young and yet so tortured. It was real. I'm amazed that my hair was brushed, because usually my hair was in big, giant, fist-sized mats all over my hair. Big, ugly-looking dreadlock mats. That was really a turn-off. And usually I was wearing grubby, dirty clothes. They must have known that it was picture day, because usually on picture day, the photographer would look at me, hand me a brush, and then say, "Oh, fuck it, forget it. I'm not going to brush that." Yeah, so can people. The one thing is that I got just as bullied from the staff and from the teachers and from my own parents and just about everybody, right? And it wasn't because I looked like that, because I didn't look like that all the time. Usually my sister usually looked like that all the time, always brushed and clean and you know, prim and proper. And then every once in a while she'd have a dirty face, right? But during school, she was always brushed and clean. And me, not so much, you know. Go find your shoes. That was what I usually heard. Go find your shoes and get out of the bathroom. Those are the two things I heard in the morning. You know, I was hiding my shoes because I didn't want to go to school. I was in the bathroom because my stomach was so torn up from having to go to school and be bullied, right? They never asked. They never questioned it, you know. What's wrong? I never heard that when I was a little kid. What's wrong? The first time I heard one of my really nice female teachers ask me, "What's wrong, Michael?" I think I burst into tears. Literally. Whenever anybody was nice to me at school, which was very seldom, when I was just in a horrible mood and I was just felt like crap, didn't eat, didn't sleep, everything's shitty everywhere at home, everything. And one person notices, right? A really nice teacher or teacher's aide notices and comes down real quietly and says, "What's wrong, Michael?" Oh, I just burst into tears and run out of the classroom, right? And then wind up asleep in the nurse's office for the rest of the day. Yeah. So many days growing up were just really, really horrible, you know? Just fucking horrible, man. But you know what? If it wasn't for all of that, I wouldn't have all of this. I wouldn't have the stories. I wouldn't have the memories. I wouldn't have the conscious choice in my head to be nice, right? As nice as I can be. And to not bully those who are, you know, easily bullied. Yeah, so, you know, it was a win-lose-win situation. I can dig it. I can take it. It was a tough little kid. You know, he was a tough little kid. I was nicknamed the crybaby in my family because, you know, why wouldn't you cry all the time? Why? Why not? Jeez. I mean, it was just a part of who I was. Yeah. Memories. It was different in the 70s and 80s, though. I mean, you really couldn't tell anybody. You couldn't talk to anybody. I couldn't. I wasn't allowed to talk to anybody about my home life. It might get my parents in trouble. So I wasn't allowed to. So when somebody would ask me what's going on, I couldn't just say, well, you know, I didn't eat since last night, and last night wasn't much. Or I haven't seen clean clothes. Look at me, I haven't seen clean clothes in a week. You're going to ask what's wrong? Just look at me, right? But in order to be able to tell them what was wrong, I would have to rat out my parents. And I couldn't do that, so I would be conflicted, and I would just run out of the class crying. No, I'm a television bully. I bully people on TV. Seriously. I do that. I hate watch shows, and I bully people on TV. I never really felt like being a bully, because I really was empathetic with those who have been bullied. So I never felt like I wanted to bully anyone else. I felt like I wanted to champion those who were bullied, basically. But no, I don't think I felt like a... There may have been a point in my life when I was a young, rowdy kid who would be out with his friends and maybe try to bully another group of kids. But other than that, no. If I was with a group of my friends and they were trying to bully an individual, I would usually put myself between them and play nice. And then I would usually really quick get my friends on my side. Why do they say that then? Because that's true. It does happen a lot. A lot of people who have been abused become abusers. You know? It does happen. But you have to make a conscious effort to change, and most people don't want to do that. They just fall in line with what they know. You know? And I could have been a bully to my daughter, and I could have berated her every day about choices that she makes for herself, right? I could give her shit about her being her, right? And as far as physically abusing your kids, I could never do that. I never spanked my daughter. I smacked her on the butt once when she was like 2 or 3 because she got close to a candle or a stove or something. And I said, hey, don't do that, you know, don't do that. And that was it. That was the only time that I had to physically abuse my daughter. And it was literally a spank on the diaper, right? So, no, she's never had to know any harsh mental abuse, no physical abuse, no, not even hunger. I don't think she's ever gone more than 8 hours eating other than sleeping, right? It is up to the individual, and we need to learn that from our first days in school. If we're going to go to a public school and we're not going to learn it at home, we need to learn it at school first. You know, it's up to the individual to take care of the people around you and to do it as if they're taking care of you and you're taking care of them. How would you want them to take care of you? Well, then you reciprocate in kind. And that's it. That's the first lessons kids should learn. Well, how do we do that? Well, this is the way we do it. And then we learn that for a couple of years. And along with that, 1, 2, 3, ABC, da-da-dee, da-da, whatever. I just don't get what we have now. Because it ain't working. And it ain't worked for so long. Why do we keep repeating it, right? Why? Why? They keep changing it. But they keep changing it so that a couple of generations, they don't know what the hell they're learning in school. I don't know that. That's new math. That's new math. No, that's bizarre math. I stopped helping my daughter with schoolwork in like the 4th grade because I couldn't understand what she was learning anymore, you know. And they separate you from your kids. So that's not right. Why do they say that? Because it's true. Most of the time it's true. You have to break free from the mold. You have to break free from what society is trying to program you with. And if it's like, well, my excuse would be, well, I was abused, so of course I have to abuse. That's my excuse, right? Your excuse was you couldn't think for yourself, so you continued the line of abuse, right? It is up to the individual. And nowadays it's so people to become so individualized, because from birth they're just, here's the screen, here's school, here's this, here's that. Where's my parents? I don't know, they're over there. You get to see them a couple hours a day. That's it. Yeah, my daughter's an only child, and her social skills are not great at all. She lost her last 2 years of high school, so she didn't get that adult socializing. She's been so invested in school and trying to make her life better than her life is now, that she really hasn't had the time to invest in being social, right? She was an only child, and she doesn't know how to back and forth with people on a regular basis. Every day, I literally see her a couple of minutes a day. She comes out of her room, she gets something to eat, she goes back into her room to eat. She does her own thing. And because she's her own person, I can't say, hey, you have to do this, you have to do that. Every once in a while, I make her come out and try to do stuff. But if she's going to feel uncomfortable doing stuff, socializing, even with her mom and dad, I'll make her do it a little. But I'm not going to force her into anything, because I know what it was like as a kid growing up, being forced into doing things that you did not want to do with people you did not want to do them with. The lonely onlys. Yep, she's a lonely only. I was a lonely only in the fact that I had an older brother and a younger sister, and was completely ignored in the middle as an actual kind of member of the family. I was more like the family pet, right? So I was the oddball in the family, the black sheep of a black sheep family. Totally. Way out there. So I totally get it, and I totally, I probably do spoil her a bit, but not intentionally, because I do try to go out of my way to involve her and engage her, but at the same time, I would want my own space, right? And because we're in such a small quarters, and when she grew up, her first 10 years were living in a travel trailer where she didn't have her own space at all. So she deserves the choice, and if she doesn't make the right choice all the time on how to socialize, you just have to say, okay, well, this is where you made your mistakes, you need to fix that, and that's all you can do, but I can't just jump on her and bully her into being something that she may not want to be, right? I wish I would have had brothers and sisters, and my life would have been completely different. Yeah, you'd have been bullied. The bastards would have fucked with you night and now. I don't know. Maybe it would have been good. Maybe you'd have been better off an only child. We are what we are. We get what we get. I think that you are exactly who you're supposed to be. And if you can look at yourself that way, you have less to worry about. Just accept that this is who I am, this is how I am, and this is how I want to evolve, right? And that's it. And for God's sake, don't worry about what somebody else is doing and how they're evolving. That's them. It's got nothing to do with you, right? Let them do their thing, If they choose really poor choices and they wind up like on the bent people in Kensington, all you can say is, hey, look, you've had the opportunity for help. Now it's a matter of natural selection, It's harsh. But at the same time, look, There's all kinds of help. There's all kinds of help. What do you want? If this is what you want, that's what you can have. That's what you get. And that's why on the streets of Kensington and in other big cities, they're just passing the shit out. Because it's a slow suicide. They're culling the herd, basically. Just like they're going to round up the ones who don't do drugs, just the regular homeless, and institutionalize them. They must be crazy. How could they live on the streets and be poor? How could they want to live like that? You know, it's like, because you make society so unfucking bearable. How do you want to live that way? You know? Work, 8-10 hours a day, 6 days a week. You barely have enough time to say hello and goodbye to your family. The school system is raising your kids. Your wife is boinking the milkman. What a fucking life. And you're going crazy and probably screwing the boss's secretary. So there you go. There you have it. Society just creates an unbearable fucking life. Sure, some people make it. Some people get used to the fact that they're just slaves. I don't even see it. Don't even see it. You know? Work isn't everything. Spending time with the people you love, that's everything. Work comes second. You know? Smart people, really, really smart people get it figured out, so they're working like this much. And they're very successful. And they spend all that time with their family. Wouldn't that be great? Wouldn't that just be great? You're 48. I look back and think things could have been different. You don't think you're as successful as you could have. What is success? How do you feel? Do you feel good about yourself? And inside, do you feel good? Do you have positivity around you? I mean, what is success? Do you gauge your success by society's requirements or your own? Because if it's society, you're never going to be happy. You have to gauge success on your own terms. I fell short of that for most of my life, worrying about how everybody else saw me. You know? And you can't measure yourself against somebody else. You have to do it internally. It's your own fight. You're not racing against somebody else. You're trying to race against your best time. That's it. You worry about how you feel about you, not how the world would look at you. Yeah. Being alone is fine. Being alone is fine. You know, there's nothing wrong with being alone. You can look inward easier. You can do stuff for yourself, better yourself. You know, a lot easier with no one around. And the thing is that once you start worrying about yourself and how to better yourself and taking care of yourself and caring about yourself more, it actually brings in people who see that and want to be around that. And then pretty soon you're not alone anymore, you know, because you're into yourself and you're into your own thing, and fuck the world, fuck everything else, you know. What is that? Big Damone on Fast Times at Ridgemont High. You know, it doesn't matter whether she comes, stays, lays, or prays, because your toes are tapping, man. Everything is still good. Wherever you are, that's the place to be. You know, feel like that and fuck everything else. You know, once you can find that, then you're just dealing with taking care of yourself. You know, what can I do to make myself better, feel good, but not feel good like, you know, doing drugs or doing alcohol, but making myself feel good because I've improved myself or taken myself to my next level, you know. You're a Capricorn 1. So it feels like I need to put on a good face for the community, you know. Oh yeah, because I've had to do that my whole life, you know. Be what they want you to be so that you can be accepted and allowed to take part in stuff. So you pretend, you know. Well, use that, you know. find something, you know, like City Slickers, you know. You gotta find one thing, whatever that's different for everybody, just that one thing, but you gotta find it. Once you find it, then you can be happy. You can invest yourself into that, you know. Sometimes it's one thing, sometimes it's more, sometimes it's a person, sometimes it's a thing, an idea. I've got a lot of one things. I told Joey the other day, there's a lot of one things that I'm into. It's like right now it's music and the guitar and writing, and then it'll get into something else, and then I'll be into something else. But I try to keep myself invested in something. So that's why I do this every day. Nothing is ever good enough. I know the feeling. I know the feeling. It's hard for me to do stuff because if I can't do it perfectly, I just walk away from it. Yeah, full of ambition, all dressed up and nowhere to go. You know, I got a box of tools, but I don't know what to do with them. That's pretty much it. So, pretty much I try to, every day, I try to take the time to do something for me, to make me feel good, or make me improve, or make me feel like a part of the community, or something, some little thing every day. Doesn't have to be much. Sometimes it's a lot. Usually it's just a little bit to make me feel good about me. And it don't hurt the community. In fact, it makes me help the community or look good in the eyes of the community, or at least in my own household, right? Yeah, I think we need to invest a lot more time into ourselves. Introspection and self-reflection, self-maintenance, and find things that we can do good enough to make ourselves feel like we are good enough. Because sometimes we don't. We feel like we're just not worthy. Sometimes, I used to, before I started doing this, I used to just sit in bed and go, oh, fuck it. And I would stay in bed a couple extra hours and not even sleep, just lay there. I'll get up. And then I'd get up and all I would do is just sit up and turn on the TV. And then do that. You know. Being a man, I always think I have to die for a cause. But I gave up a few years back. Die for a cause. You know? Die for the cause. Bill Cosby? No. I don't think anybody should. You know what? We're born, we live, we die. That's hard enough. We don't need to seek ways to die. And to die for a cause. There's no reason to die for a cause anymore. There isn't. What we need to do is just change the world. So nobody has to die for a cause. You know, all we need is change. Logical, you know, well planned out change. And we need to combat the change that's happening now. Because it is well thought out, and it is planned, and it is taking us in a direction. And we need to combat that. And it would just start at home if everybody would just get together as a community, at home, as people. You know, tired of suffering, exactly. Well then don't suffer anymore. Because most of the suffering we do is self-inflicted, really. It is. We find ourselves in a state of misery, and then we wallow in it. And I am famous for this. I am famous for finding myself in a bad situation and then forcing myself to feel worse about it so that I can just wallow in that misery and then have a reason to feel like shit. And that's the nature of a depressive personality. You know, and that's horrible. And I got so sick of that. And I would talk to myself. I would find myself yelling and screaming and having conversations with myself. You know, your problem's got problems. Exactly. My problems would scream at my problems, right? Don't ever leave me alone in a car because I'm driving down the road screaming. Several different voices screaming out loud, arguing with myself. And I will literally hear it and stop and take a breath and go, okay, shut up. Stop this. There's nobody listening, right? Nobody cares what you're saying right now. What you're saying right now is not productive. What you're screaming out right now, it may be, therapeutic in some way to vent like that, but it accomplishes nothing. And I try to avoid doing that. I caught myself doing it the other day, and it was like a couple of minutes, and I'm like, whoa, wait a second. Big time civil. My split personalities have split personalities. That ain't no lie. We're gonna go as long as I'm allowed to go this morning, because it's Friday. So there you go. Yeah, I've often thought that it's possible that I have a split personality thing going on. But then again, I don't know. I don't black out until, and have people tell me that, hey man, you are weird now. So I think I'm okay. I think it's just a matter of internal struggle. There's a bunch of people up there and nobody knows exactly who is in charge, right? And it's not that we're split personalities. It is that we are the same personality, only segments. Yes, that was Sally Field, was Sybil. One of her greatest TV roles, that TV movie, Sybil. I think it was a two-parter. And she was young, but it was great. It was actually from a novel and a true story. But, yeah, Sybil. Sally Field was great in that. There's another one, Strange Voices. Nancy McKeon, the girl who played Jo on The Facts of Life. She's in that one, Strange Voices, where she's like college age, high school age or college age, and she starts having these bouts of a personality dispute. And it causes a little internal conflict and trouble at school and at home and stuff. That movie I've never seen. It's on my watch list. So at some point I'll probably get to it. Now that we've been talking about it, I'll have to get to it. That one's, I believe, on Netflix. Strange Voices. Doug McKeon, her brother, who was on Alice, as Alice's son, he passed away not too long ago. I do believe Nancy McKeon is still alive. But she stepped away from acting a long time ago. A long time ago. I'm going to do this bong hit here because multiple personality disorder is pretty weird. Yeah, to say the least. That's like an understatement of the century. It is bizarre. It is, but what brings it on? Basically a chemical imbalance in the brain, right? But what causes that chemical imbalance, right? It's not a modern disorder because it's been around for a long time. They didn't know what it was, but it was there. So what brings it? Couldn't be like processed foods or something, like maybe something environmental, something in the DNA, right? The dinner. Who knows? I don't know. Bong hit. Cover me. My COPD is starting to catch up with me. It's harder and harder to do a full bong hit. Then again, my bong just might be clogged a little bit. So what are you going to do? A couple of docs about the truly bizarre trauma cases. Trauma causes it. I think that's the major cause of it. Yeah, you're right. I think it can also be something that just happens, right? Because I do believe that there are people who have had it handed down, right? Yeah, my mother had it. Her grandmother had it. They were both nuts. Some forms of insanity are inherited. That's crazy. Some forms of insanity are created by an unholy union, right? Like incest or some twisted monkeys, you know, having their way with you. Who knows? I mean, it could come. I'm probably a product of some unholy union. That's why I get my craziness. That's how creative people are. Yeah, they're wackadoo. They're fucking nuts. Creative people are, I think, creative because they are crazy. You're right. They're wackadoo. I mean, you don't find too many really, really narrow-minded, straight-laced people, you know, Harry S. Truman types, right, that are like serious, imaginative, artistic people, right? Very, very creative. Usually if they're middle of the road straight and don't think outside the box, usually they couldn't doodle anything, right? I can't carry a tone and I can't draw anything, and yep, I can't write one line of poetry. Yep, so many of my favorite musicians and songwriters are just kind of off the wall. Yep, totally. It kind of comes with the territory, you know? I mean, I love to... I'm not a writer, I'm not a songwriter, musician, or singer or anything, but I love to write a good song, you know? And it's not because I want to, it's not because I fancy myself a songwriter, it's because I have to. I have to get it. If something starts rattling around in my head, I have to get it out. And if it's in the form of a poem or a song or a story or something, so be it. Or a drawing, I have to get it out. Yeah, you know, what he does is he just taps into all of those different sides of himself. But that's what he did. He would just let it go, right? He would just open it up and let it loose. And since he was a little kid doing that, it was real easy just to turn it on and just let it flow. And that was great. Watching Robin Williams when I was a little kid on TV, on those comic shows, doing his stand-up stuff, reality. Wow, what a concept! And that was great because it was an album, but it was also like I think an HBO special or something, and it was a great album. I think I have it on 8-track, maybe. I might have it on LP, but I think I've got it on 8-track. And don't ask what the LP of the day, don't ask what the record of the day is. We're not doing that this week because everything's too weird, everything's too crazy. So I'm not even going to get into it. We did a little bit. I was pissed off the day Robin Williams died. Really. I mean, it sucks sometimes being alive. Sometimes it's really, really hard to exist as a person. And I could see that he struggled his whole life with depression. And I saw it in his face, knowing depression firsthand and seeing it in my own eyes. Through his whole career, that's one of the things that I was attracted to him, was that he was depressed and he was funny, and I was depressed and I was funny, right? And when I heard he had died, I was so pissed off, right? Regardless of how it happened, you know, unless it was somebody else's hands, because there was that suspicion, right? I was pissed off. I'm still pissed off. to this day, since his death, I've only been able to watch a couple of things with Robin Williams, begrudgingly, because, you know, I'm still pissed off. You know? It takes a lot of fucking balls to stay when you want to go. This is it. This is all you get. You're born, you live, you die. If it's going to be up to you how long that is, that's a cop-out. It's an easy way out. It's hard enough to exist. It's hard enough to take up that time period between birth and death, to then take things into your own hands. Right? I mean, come on. Who knows? Maybe he would have died a year later. You know, maybe he would have got his shit together and got another project and not, you know. There's sometimes there's not a day that goes by that I don't think about, wow. But do I? No. Because that's the easy way out. That's the sucker's game. That's the cheating, you know. You're going to get there eventually, you know. I think the only reason there should be for suicide, if you want to call it that, taking your own life, is tremendous pain. Physical pain, emotional and mental pain should be able to, we should be able to deal with that. We should be able to work through that, right? Physical pain, sometimes physical pain will get to the point to where we need an out, and I can handle that. But, you know, come on. Look at how many opportunities he had to reach out. I remember taking a girlfriend and her son to see Aladdin in the theater. Yep. That was fun. Of course, I think after that I forced him to watch The Fugitive with Harrison Ford. But yeah, Aladdin, great movie. Perfect role for him. He had Lewy body dementia. He was really suffering from it hardcore. All right. Is it a you know, a physical pain? Is he in physical pain? Because that's, to me, that's the deciding factor. You know, because someone, I don't know, I can't say that somebody shouldn't commit suicide, because it's up to, once again, it's up to the individual. I would just hope that somebody can see that there are a lot more choices than that, than to just say, fuck it, I'm out of here, you know. Because there are. And no matter what you think, there's gonna be somebody out there who's gonna give a shit. You know, whether they're in the same room or on the other side of the country, on the other side of the planet. There's somebody out there who gives a shit. And you need to find a way to give a shit about yourself. It took me most of my life to give a shit about myself, you know, and to enjoy being me, you know, and to embrace who I am. It took me forever to get there, but I finally got there. It might be a little too late, but I'm here, you know, and you have to give yourself the opportunity for that, you know. Mental and emotional suffering sucks, but there's always a way to work through that, you know. Especially if you can find some people who give a shit. Find somebody who gives a shit. There's always somebody who gives a shit, even if you got to pay them, a doctor, somebody, you know. Once you start feeling good about yourself and feeling positive about what you can do, it will really just put off an aura that just kind of brings people into you. It does. It really does. And do it for you. Don't do it because you're trying to impress society. Fuck society. You know? Yeah. Totally. Yeah, it really pissed me off when I heard he died. I was mad. I wanted to cry. But, yeah, there you go. Dead Poets Society, Goodwill Hunting. You really saw it in Good Will Hunting. You really saw him tapping into that depression, and that was a tough role for him to do that, and he hated doing that because it was just so real, it was so visceral, and he did his best to hide from that kind of shit, those kind of feelings, and so when he was tapped to do that in a role, it was really, really hard for him, and it would just catapult him into severe depression. And then he'd have to just go off and do some kind of project that was just ridiculous, you know. When he did Moscow on the Hudson, that was, for me, that was one of his most heaviest dramatic roles, and he was so real in that, and his emotions were so visceral, right? And you could see in his face that he was tapping into things and going places he did not want to be. And it hurts to watch that movie. It really hurt. One of my favorite movies, but now that he's taken his own life because of his depression, it's really hard, really, really hard to watch that movie or any of his movies. Especially his funniest movies. I can't watch him at his funniest because I know that inside he's dying inside. He's just feeling miserable, right? And he used comedy to help him mask his depression, not help his depression, you know. And I used comedy every day on my show here. I'm always as stupid as I can possibly be, and it's not because I'm hiding, it's because I'm using it, you know. And I think that's the difference, is that he was using it to hide, to become someone else, and I'm using the comedy to be me. Fisher King, same thing. One of those really heavy emotional roles where he has to tap into a lot of sadness, and that's heavy. Yeah, Jeff Bridges in that one. Crazy. He did some great stuff, but it was because of his depression and his inability to deal with it, you know. It sucks. I'm still pissed off at him, you know. I am. I'm really pissed off at Robin Williams. You bastard. Regardless of what he had going on physically, you know, I think that it could have been dealt with, right? Or he could have gone out a different way. I mean, geez, you know. What am I going to do? I mean, if I got you got 2 days to live, that's it. Well, if I see a burning building with kids inside, I'm going to run in there and save as many as I can, because I know I'm going to die anyway. Would I do that now? Sure, I'd fucking do that now. I would hesitate probably, but I'd still do it. You know, if I knew I was going to die in 2 days, would I do something to change the world? Yeah. Run naked through the middle of Los Angeles, like anybody's going to notice, right? Oh, geez, another one. What do you do to change the world anymore, right? It shouldn't be die. It shouldn't be, well, I'm going to give my life for the country or the cause or something. There should be no reason other than, you know, saving someone, self-preservation, you know, that you should even think about giving up your life, you know. Yeah, Anthony Bourdain, he was a great guy. He was a kooky guy. Totally reclusive, inverted, depressive person, thrust into the limelight, you know. And he was conflicted. He didn't really want that, right? And it just kind of fell into his lap, and then he had to deal with the fame. And then the fame, being well known everywhere, but spending most of your time alone. Turning into an alcoholic, and just, wasn't he mainlining stuff at one point? He was just, you know, another guy who just needed help, you know. when you're in a kind of pain, mental or emotional, or some kind of pain that can be dealt with, you know, it's a shame when people decide to just say, "Ah, fuck it, I'm out of here." You know, when there's perfect opportunities for help. You know, I've never done any mainstream therapy or help or anything for a couple of years. Like the first 10 years of the first 10 years of my marriage, I was on antidepressants, right? And so the first 6 years of my daughter's life, I was completely detached detached emotionally as a parent. So a lot of stuff I don't remember because I don't have any emotional connection to the memory. And that's what creates a good, strong memory, is some kind of physical or emotional connection. And I don't have that for my daughter's first 6, 7 years of her life. Her birth, walking, talking, birthdays, all of that stuff. It's there, but it's not a strong memory, and that sucked. So I just, one day I said, fuck it, I'm done with it. I wanna be here, right? And I got off it and was frustrated for a few years. Same thing with antacids. I did that for 10 years or more, and it just destroyed my insides. So I had to get off of that too. So I started eating apples every day. Cured my GERD. But there's always something, you know. And nowadays, the answers are there, and they're right here. All the answers to everything is right here on these little devices. But we'd prefer to, you know, watch videos and swipe and comment and do all this stupid shit, you know. If we invest time in ourselves and then transfer that into the community, that's it. That's all you got to do. You know, it makes you feel like you're doing something for yourself, and others are benefiting from it. At some point, you feel like you just can't go on anymore. You just can't deal with the suffering anymore. Boy, don't I know it. Before I met my wife back in '98, my plan was to work this job for 5 years and save up enough to buy some acreage up in the mountains somewhere, and literally have a little cabin, and just me and a dog and some wild animals as friends, and raise potatoes and shit, and be one of those mountain men. That was my plan. At this point, I was already living in a motorhome outside my work, right? And I was like, you know what, I'm done. I'm just checking out. And then I met my wife, and I gave that a chance. And it was like my saving grace, my saving moment, because I had held on that long, you know. And while society makes me want to run off into the mountains and live in a cave, now I got somebody I want to take with me. But, and a lot of people, because I gave it a chance and I stuck with it, and I created an air of positivity that brought positivity to me, right? It's like not worrying about money so much makes it easier for money to find its way to you. I know that sounds ridiculous, but that's my belief, you know. If I just say, hey, I need this, I need money in my life, and then leave it alone. Hey, somebody comes and says, hey man, you want to make some money? It's not that easy, but it can be. And if you allow it, it can feel that easy, right? Allow yourself the opportunity to change. Allow yourself the opportunity to grow, and you will, you know. And if you don't focus so much on the negativity, and like I said before, I'm famous for wallowing in it and just making myself feel worse. And if you get used to making yourself feel better and wallowing in self-worthiness and self-compassion and self-change, you know, self-repair, self-improvement, and that just kind of spills out, and then other people pick up on that, and then they want to be around that because it makes them feel good, you know. And then pretty soon you don't want to not go on so much. Pretty soon you do want to go on. You know, and pretty soon you find yourself not feeling like shit all the time. Pretty soon it's only once in a while. And then it's easier to bring yourself out of that. When I started microdosing mushrooms, and I did it for like 2.5 months, a little tiny, itty bitty little amount, the tip of my pinky, and I would just do a little bit, a couple of days a week, for 6 weeks or 2.5 months, and I would just sit alone in the quiet, listen to a little music, or read, or light a candle, some incense, drink some tea, and put myself in a happy place. And I did that over and over and over and over again, twice a week, you know, every week. And, pardon me, after about 10 weeks, 12 weeks, I stopped doing it because I didn't need to do it anymore. I could drive down the road and not get pissed off. And if I did get pissed off, I'd go to a happy place. I could feel better about myself without having to try. You know, I'm not saying that microdosing mushrooms is for everyone, but it worked for me and it helped. Smoking marijuana, changing my brain chemistry with mushrooms. That was years ago. That was like 5 or 6 years ago. And I don't feel the need to do it again or to change. I got mushrooms now in my fridge. I don't need to take them. You know, I'm good. You know, but it takes a while to program your brain into wanting to feel good. Otherwise, you just wallow. I used to just wallow in it. Oh, I feel miserable, so I'm going to force myself to continue to feel miserable, and just go on and on and on and on and on. Oh, see, cool. Well, use them as a medicinal thing rather than buy them and just take a whole bunch of them and just, you know, don't take them for a while and then microdose them just a little bit, you know. And since you do them more often, you should probably microdose them a little bit every day, just a tiny little bit prescribe yourself just the tiniest amount and take it every day, you know. Exactly. Subconsciously, you're just making yourself feel miserable. And it's like, what the hell am I doing? It's like driving down the road screaming at myself, what the hell am I doing? You know, I'm just making it worse. You're making it worse. Burn him again. I just have to get off of it, you know. And that's the way depression is. You just have to get off. You just have to get away from it. You just have to force yourself to do something to get off of it. And then when you find yourself rambling in your head, when you find yourself pulling you down, just say, hey, fuck you, and get up and walk away from it, you know. It's like with my pain. The pain never leaves me. The pot helps me to take the pain and put the pain over on the couch. That's the best way I can describe it. The pain is still in my room here, but it's over on the couch, and it's not so attached to me. And you can do the same thing with depression. You have to catch yourself when you're just having all these negative thoughts, and you have to tell yourself to stop. You're absolutely right, Sarah. You do. You just have to say, hey, enough is enough. You know, I can't I can't deal with you now. So you go over, and that's the split personality syndrome right there. And that's fine, that's perfect, because you can eventually dismiss that personality completely, you know. And I still have that depressive personality, but he lives in another place, and every once in a while he comes over to visit, and I don't always have to open the door and let him in, right? So, you know, to hell with that. To hell with the depression. To hell with making yourself feel like that. The world's going to do that enough. It's up to you to combat that and to keep that shit from fucking with you. And making you a negative person that then goes out and affects the world negatively. And it's just ripples. It's a ripple effect, the butterfly effect. You know, it just goes on and on and on. You transfer it to the people around you, and then it just goes out from there. And we don't need that. We need positivity. We need, you know, number one, positive thinkers. You know? That's what we need. And we need to start with ourselves. You know, no matter how you feel about yourself and the world, you need to make a conscious effort to find something to feel good about, something that makes you want to do something good. Sometimes it's just your dog. Sometimes it's your neighbor. Sometimes it's something inside of you that says, I want this. I want to do this. Figure out a way to do that. You know, you want to make it to a concert, or you want to make it, you want to get on a game show. You know, I want to get on American Ninja Warrior. Well, then bust your ass and do it. You know, I want to skydive. I want to deep sea dive. Well, then find a way to do it. You know, I want to get out of this depression. Find a way to do it. There's something out there, you know. As long as it's not stepping on baby puppies to make yourself feel better, well, then do it. If it ain't hurting nobody, and it ain't hurting you, then do it. Find a way to make yourself feel good about yourself, and that's going to spill off into the world around you. Who's that happy dude running by? He looks so happy. And you don't realize that the happy dude running by just made you smile. Well, he did his fucking job. You know? It does look fun. That's one of my favorite hate watch shows. I love to hate watch that. It's not because of the warrior stuff. It's because of the backstories. I get so sick of backstories. If you take out all the backstories, you can fit in 20, 30 more minutes of ninja, right? At the least. So I get on there and they start talking about, oh yeah, my mom, and she's got, and I'm like, oh, shut up, I don't care about your mom, you know. And it's not that I hate people and I'm negative and stuff. It's just one of my ways of dealing with life and society and the world is to find something to fuck with, right? To find, it's not really affecting anyone. I'm not hurting anyone by talking shit on a TV show, you know. It doesn't make me a bad person for mocking someone on TV, you know. It's just something fun to do. It's a game of my own. Would I go on that show? Oh, hell no. Imagine my backstory. Yeah, he's one of those non-influencers on YouTube, and he does this stupid show, and he's got all these, you know, half dozen followers that he calls irregulars, and yada, 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 and they're behind him all the way. Every single one of them bought a T-shirt, so he sold 6 T-shirts. I mean, what would my backstory be? And then I'd get up there and, yeah, I'm doing this for my family, and I'm doing this for my world, and I'm doing this to fight world hunger, and then get up there and fail on the first step, right? Splash. I'm going to come back, I swear. And then you never see me again. I had the time of my life. I don't think so. I don't think so, boss. You know what looked like fun was Beastmaster. That was a show that was produced by Sylvester Stallone on Netflix, and it only made it 3 seasons. And it was a worldwide show. It took places in 3 markets, and it had contestants from all over the world, and they competed just like on Ninja Warrior, right? And but they competed as countries. Hey, good morning, James. What's going on, dude? Good to see you around. Did I ever bathe in the Ganges River in India? No, but I think I have hepatitis anyway. So what, is that okay? With a name like Ganges, it's got to be clean, right? It just got to be. Really, man, it's like the cleanest water in the world. You can't see your hand once you put it in 2 inches, but it's so clean. See there, I'm mocking stuff. But I'm not hurting anyone. I didn't intentionally try to hurt somebody. If someone has bathed in the Ganges and did get hepatitis, I'm sorry. I wasn't trying to mock you. But I would think if that's, you know, if you want hepatitis, that's probably one of the places you could probably get it, or some kind of waterborne disease or bacteria or something. I don't trust waters that, you know, you're bathing and pulling out water to use to cook, and there's stuff floating by. I'm not into that. relaxing at home. Awesome. So you got a beautiful day there. This day here is going to be like 105, 110 or something. We're not quite into the fall weather yet. We get about a week's worth of window weather out here in the desert. A dock on India. All these people are bathing in the dirty river. Exactly. Every time I see video of that, it's like I wouldn't put my foot in there. You know, I'm sure their religion is saying, good, we don't want you in our water. And that's fine. You know, and that's where I draw the line. Yeah. I mean, that's what the bathwater is supposed to look like when you get out if you're really dirty, not when you get in. Or at least, sheesh. All right, enough of that. Devout Hindus bathe in. Yeah, I know that. That's weird. And I can understand that. And so if that were the case, wouldn't taking care of that, or wouldn't not taking care of that river be sacrilegious, right? Wouldn't it be in your best interest to make sure that everywhere up river is not polluting? It would be against the law and against the religion to do anything to pollute that, right? The only thing you should be able to do from the Ganges would be to remove water or to bathe in it, right? And I think if that was the law, it would be really clean. You know, I don't think that it's silt. I don't think that it's stuff, algae and stuff. It just looks dirty. Oh, the Ganges. All of his ashes, or just some of them? Because I want to be mailed all over the planet. Have somebody open up an envelope in D.C. and they tear it open and they go, whew, and my ashes blow up, and it's like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, we just have a terrorist attack, right? That would freak everybody out. Now they're just a guy's ashes. He just wanted to get to the White House. He just, at some point in his life, or after, he wanted to make it to the White House. So he did. There you go. And they open it up and ashes go everywhere, and the card in says, I live here now. This is my house now, bitches. Right? And then my ghost will haunt the White House too. If I send ashes all over the place, will I have little mini ghosts haunting places? Or will it be like teleportation? Can I go where my ashes are and haunt? Ooh, that's cool. I've been watching a little too much Scooby-Doo Mysteries lately, so I apologize. Really? There you go. I am not religious per se. I mean, I do believe that there's something going on. I'll give you that. There's something going on. I don't know what it is. I don't know that I can accept human's version of what's going on. I know it's the general consensus in a lot of religions that they got it understood. They got it figured out, but I'm not 100% convinced either way. It might or it might not be. It could be all of it. It could be none of it. It could be a combination of some of it. Who knows? Or it could be all of them. Black Muddy River, roll on forever. Yeah, totally. Black Muddy, eh? Oh, good. The old muddy. That's the old Mississippi, eh? The old miss. Totally. Reminds me of Tom Sawyer and Huckleberry Finn. That's anytime you say Mississippi River paddle boats, Tom Sawyer, Huck Finn. Any version of that movie from those movies, any versions from like the 90s and before, those are some great movies. You know, even what's his face, Jonathan Taylor Thomas. He did one, right? He did what, Huck Finn or Tom Sawyer or something. Great movies. Great movies. And there's a river. Is that river really dirty? I don't think the Mississippi is really, really dirty. You know, I think they've really done a lot to clean up the rivers in the U.S. But still, I'm sure there's room for improvement. But I don't see a lot of, boy, look at this river in the U.S. That's horrible. Maybe stuff like the L.A. River, where it fills up full of trash and then it rains and then it washes a bunch of trash out. You know, other than that. Samuel Clemens, yep. Good old Mark Twain. Samuel Clemens. And there's a weird dude. There's a split personality for you. Twerk Maine. Totally Twerk Maine. Yeah, I think he had another name that he used, if I'm not mistaken, but I could be. My pinky is healed. At some point, I'm gonna probably next week do some more guitar playing on the show. I'm still practicing that song, not Dancing in the Street. Listen to the Music by the Doobie Brothers. I don't know why I said Dancing in the Streets, because so many deadheads are here. The Mississippi is very dirty. Oh, okay. Especially around Memphis. Well, we should do something about that. Of any religion. However, I do try to live by the teachings of Jesus. There you go. I think we should live by some kind of positivity, some kind of positive message, right? Just find positivity in your heart and live. And wherever you can find that, that's fine. As long as it's not like zealot or cult status, right? It's like once you get too into something and you lose yourself in it, I think then you lose the humanity of it, because it's easy to just focus on that, right? And where you want to involve people in your religion, you go at them so hard and heavy that you become a turnoff, right? And I think if you just do your own thing and then exude positivity, people are going to be like, what's your thing? What are you on? Really? You're on Jesus? Well, bring me in, you know? And for the people who are like going after people, come to Jesus, come to Jesus, come to Jesus. I think you gotta just lay off a little bit and take it easy, and we'll get there if we want to, right? Not sure how they managed to mess up that one. Love one another is pretty damn straight, simple, and straightforward. Yeah, exactly. And humanity has screwed that up. You know what? There's a couple of few standard laws to live by, you know. Do unto others as you would have them do. Unless you're a fucking sadist. I mean, get the fuck away from me, though. I like Buddhism. It helps a lot and is not a religion. Right. The Tao. What was it? The Tao of Pooh. And the something of Piglet. Or something. There was these books back in the 90s that were really cool, and they explained Taoism through Winnie the Pooh books. Metallica and the Pyramid in Memphis. Ooh. The river ran right beside the venue. Very dirty. Red clay, dirty river. Yeah. You know. Like I said, some rivers are dirty because they contain a lot of silt and sand and stuff that gets just billows. Some of it's algae, some of it's this or that. There's a lot of it that's pollution, you know. Once again, humanity falls short. We can do so much, and we have the means to do so much good, and we wind up doing so much in the other direction, you know. It's better to do nothing. If you can't do anything good, then don't do anything at all. Don't, you know, why fuck it up? Money. My wife is like, what's that? I said, it's a water tank. She said, what is it? I said, well, it feeds the area below it, right? This big water tank up on the hill, this feeds the area below it. The size is determined by the size of the community. I said, if you look behind us up on the hill back there, there's another one. I said, yeah, we're driving down the road. So there's another one. Same thing. I said, yeah, that's it right there. I said, that's just a form of somebody coming along and buying the rights to sell our natural resources back to us and profit from it. And that's the way the world works. Nothing is what I want. A very Zen saying. Yeah, it was, and it still happens all over the world. It still happens in the U.S., of course. There are ways to get around the pollution fighters, right? It's like, well, you're only allowed to dump this in at so many parts per million, right? And so they filter it down. But then there's another company downriver who filters their stuff down, and they're left with an excess of parts per million that they're still allowed, right? So they sell that excess to the company up the river. Now the company up the river can pollute a little bit more. Then they just buy excess points from other companies. Same thing with air pollution. They just buy all kinds of pollution. They just buy excess points from companies who don't use all of their points. And then they can pollute more. And that's it. And then they send lobbyists to increase the amount of points that they're allowed to use and pay people, and people get rich and we get sicker. You think you're joking. It ain't a joke. It's going to happen. They already sell us our water. They're going to sell us, as soon as they can figure out how to, as soon as they put us in domes, they're going to charge us a tax on air. And then if you want to have fresh air in your home piped in, I got fresh air, I'm at home now, you're going to have to pay for it. You know, that's it, baby. I like the idea of having those little generators that condense air and create oxygen, right? So now you can breathe on the go. You can take your oxygen tank and go with you, and it just compresses oxygen for you to breathe, right? That device right there is going to come in handy. I want to have a couple of those in my survival kit, right? With a whole lot of filtration built into it, because that and a hazmat suit could come in really come in handy at some point in the future. Former astronaut Mark Kelly said that while living in the ISS and looking down at the Earth, he could see a haze of air pollution over Asia. Oh yeah, they have such horrible pollution in Asia because they don't regulate the pollution at all. The cars, the factories, the homes, people are still using fire to cook in the cities and outside the cities and stuff. It's just crazy. So much pollution. What are you going to do about it? You have to do something. It should start with the people. The people should just start saying, hey, give us a better way. And then it trickles up. You know, instead of letting the shit trickle down, well, we don't care about you. You know. That's why they have created cities all over Asia that are unpopulated, because at some point people are going to have to move out of places that are just too polluted. The groundwater, the ground, the dirt, the soil, everything is just bleh. So they have to move, you know. And when things turn to shit here, the rich people are going to buy apartments and condos in those cities in China and live way over there. Cigarettes. Yeah, that's probably a big part of it. Cigarette smoke and cars, and then factories, right, in that order. Because there's a lot of fucking cars, man. Lot of ghost cities. Yeah, those ghost cities in China. Highways that go off to nowhere. They build these villages, and then the villages are filled with people who create these giant skyscrapers in these cities, complete cities, right? Shops and factories and apartments and condos and stuff. And then all of those people pick up and move up the highway and create another village and leave a ghost village next to this ghost city. And they just move along. Or some people stay in the ghost villages next to the ghost cities and are responsible for a little bit of upkeep here and there. But mostly they build it and then it just sits and rots. That's crazy. You know? But we have places like that in North America, too. You know, in the South, there are places where everybody's just picked up and left. And they have entire school districts, 70 buildings, that they can't use anymore because there's not enough kids. Back in the heyday, they had to build and build and build and build and take care of kids, and now everybody's gone. You know, the hurricane came through and destroyed a bunch, and everybody had to leave, and now they've got school districts that are trying to sell 3 out of 4 schools. That's crazy. Entire towns that are just lost, you know, and growing over, you know. And then why would they build these big giant cities and just let it rot? The grudge. I don't know about all that. But I don't got a grudge. Yeah, you know, what do you do with why would you build it? What are you going to do with it? What's it all about? We get so many homeless people and so many houses that are empty, you know. It's like, you know, 7 out of 10 houses out here, at least, are empty. And the ones that aren't empty are just vacation rentals. And so they're empty most of the year. And then a lot of them are just empty. They're for sale, but they're empty. Well, how can we have so many homeless people and so many empty homes? So many people-less homes, right? What's up with that? How is things so out of whack that people are on the streets and homes are going empty? We get food rotting on the shelves in the supermarkets and being thrown away, and people are going hungry, waiting till it gets thrown away so they can eat. Why? These things are so fucking out of whack. They're so out of balance. What are you going to do? Change it. Get up and do something. Change your community. Think about the person next to you. Care. Do something. Do something to help change the world for the better. Because if you don't, it ain't going to get better. You can't expect those in charge to do it for you, because they're using what you want as a bargaining chip in getting reelected or elected. It is truly a disease, and it's bred into people. It's programmed into people. There are some entire, like, countries and groups of people and organizations and religions and stuff whose sole purpose is to be greedy. You know, entire government, our government, is totally built on greed and self-preservation. You know, wow. That's we made that. We allowed that to happen. We got to change it. We got to do something. It starts at home. It starts at home. It starts in the community. The people around you, your neighbors, your family, your friends, spills out into the town, into the city, into the county, the district, the state, on into D.C. The meek will inherit the earth if they truly, truly care and try and put forth the effort to. The greedy will consume us if we let them, if we are too meek. Meek should not mean edible, because that's what it means right now. We're all getting chewed up and spit out. The more greed, the less chance we have. I don't consider myself meek. I consider myself a voice that is yet to be heard. That's it. I think we all need to speak up and make a change and do something to get people to care, you know. Yeah, I think the meek should inherit the earth because we know what to do with it and how to care for it. The greedy is just going to gobble it up and sell it back to us. But we need to take charge. We need to get off the dime. We need to do something. We need to care. We need to worry about the people around us, worry about our homes, our communities, our environment, all the little fuzzy bunnies, everything. All of it. Sorry, I watched One Crazy Summer the other day. And if we don't make a conscious effort to change, it's just going to get worse. So therefore, we're responsible once again, you know. Yeah, I knew The Grudge was a movie, man. I was just fucking with you, man. I don't have a grudge about it. As a practice, I am not a consumer except absolute necessities. I would love for it to be that way. I have a 21-year-old daughter who is a rational consumer. She only buys the things that she needs or wants in her life, right? She doesn't just go out and buy willy-nilly. My wife and daughter don't go out to sales, and they don't hit up all the store. If they have to be looking for something specific, and then they'll hit up the stores, and then they'll usually, the store don't have it, let's go. And then they go to the next store, and they won't buy anything there just because it was on sale, right? I'm more of a consumer, because I like to just buy crap that's stupid, right? But usually it's old crap. I'm talking thrift store, garage sale crap. So not a traditional consumer. I'm a consumer of garbage, you know. What they have for us to consume nowadays is all disposable. I don't like to dispose of stuff, so I often will keep a lot of stuff around that still has life in it, you know. No, I know what you did last summer, dude, and it wasn't watch my show. Damn it. I'm going in. Totally. I know what you did last summer, and it wasn't do something for your community, or you wouldn't be complaining now. You'd have a cause, and not a cause to die for, but a cause to live for. So do that. Find something outdoors. Find something right outside. Yeah, bangers. Plant a garden. Turn off the television and grow a garden. That's what Lucas Nelson says. Turn off the TV. Turn off the news and grow a garden. Do that. Grow a garden in your mind. Start something in your head. Something positive. Come up with a thought or an idea that you can embellish on. Something you can just get creative with, you know. Do that. Find something that's fun and happy for yourself. Yeah, Potheads Unite. See, there's a cause right there, right? There's a club, Potheads United, right? And it's just a bunch of potheads, like-minded individuals that like to talk about pot, but also like to do something to change the world. Bring pot to others? Yeah, that's it. So William W.W. here is going to start Potheads United, and I am a charter member. So there you go. Here. So there you go. There's something to do. It may not even be about, sure, they smoke pot, but maybe what their cause is something totally different. You know, bringing positivity to the neighborhood through enlightened thought and understanding. I don't know. You know, I want to do a booth at the farmer's market that is simply advice from an old guy. That's it. You want me to take my teeth out or leave them in? What kind of advice do you want? Really old? I'll take them out. Just old guy, I'll leave them in. No, I think that'd be fun. And just sit and talk to people, find out about them, talk to them about their lives and stuff, find out, what's going on. And just try to be a positive influence for people. Shoplifters of the world unite and take over. Yeah, I shoplifted twice when I was young. Once was a pack of cigarettes when they left them out. I grabbed a bunch of stuff and put it in my cart and went over to the bathroom with the cigarettes now in my pocket, and went in the bathroom, took the cigarettes out of the pack, flushed the pack, and put the cigarettes in my pocket, one behind my ear, and then thought I was cool, and then got busted. Great song. The Smiths. Ah, the Smiths. My daughter loves the Smiths. Totally. Totally. And then my girlfriend and I, with her little kid, were hungry and homeless, and we shoplifted a little bit of food. That was it. We didn't get busted, so that was good. But that was the only 2 times that I did. I got busted for shoplifting once when I was a little kid, when I didn't shoplift, and the guy said that I did, and then took the bag of candy that we had bought at another store, right? And my sister and I ooh, we got money, and we went and we bought some candy, and then on the way home we had more money left over, and so we went and bought some more candy, or tried to, until the guy said, you put this in your bag, and you put this in your bag, and I'm like, dude, get the fuck out of my bag. I was pissed off. Because I looked like it, right? Because I looked like it. Totally. I am unfamiliar. But, yeah. You know, you do what you gotta. If you're going up against corporate America, you know, I can't say anything negative about shoplifting other than, you know, well, anything about it other than just, hey, you know, only take what you need, and don't get caught, right? And don't keep doing it. Find another way. I used to go out and collect cans when I was homeless. I'd spend all day collecting cans. I'd park my crappy little car, and I'd walk around all day and collect cans. At the end of the day, I'd take my cans over, turn them in, and get my money. And then I'd have gas money, food money, weed money, cigarette money, fun money. And then I would go set up a camp somewhere, and I had to do that like 4 days a week. I'd go out and I'd collect cans, and I could really, in fact, I was thriving collecting cans. I was making more collecting cans than I would have made working an 8-hour job at what was like $5 an hour back then, right? I was like, no fucking way. After taxes, I'm collecting cans. Fuck this. Not all laws. All laws are morally correct. If someone is hungry, they should have food, especially since you said earlier we have so much waste. Yes, we do. We get totally too much waste. The thing is that there is food available. You have to know where to go to get it. And if you don't know where to get it, then it leads to shoplifting, crime. You know, and that's where we fall short again as people, is we don't make it known where to get the help, right? So people are dying of drug overdoses, dying of starvation, dying of being sick because they just don't know. And it's up to us as fellow citizens to make sure that everybody knows what the fuck's going on all the time. Otherwise, you get people just living a life. They have no fucking clue why they're living it. And then they get no help. And then they fucking wind up just off in themselves because everything gets so miserable. You know, you find them dead, homeless in their fucking car, starving, with some dog eating their eyeballs out because he's starving now. You know, is that the way we want to be seen from other countries or other planets? Right? God, those people are horrible. Horrible. Look at the way they treat each other. God, if I was some alien species looking down at everybody on this planet, I would want to stay the fuck away. My God, they'll probably eat me. You know, these people are vicious. Look how they treat each other. You know, look, they're exactly, oh, look, that one's a little bit different color. And look, they're chasing him around and beating him up. Wow. Wow. That's a planet I want to go to. No one should go hungry in this country these days. No one should go hungry on this planet these days. First of all, put a cork in it, humanity. Stop having kids. You know? Second of all, stop allowing corporate entities to tell you that you can't fucking grow food unless you use their Monsanto bullshit. Fuck that. Let's go back to the old ways. You know? But no. You know? No. 1111. Oh, I see. It must be 11:11 over there, because it's 8:11 here. So, it sounds like the house is waking up. It sounds like it's breakfast time. So I'm going to probably be heading out here pretty quick. I'll get a bong hit together here and do one last bong hit for the road. But, yeah, this has been a great morning. I really enjoyed all the... So what are we going to do? What are we going to do now after today's discussion about how to help in our communities, right? What are we going to do? Some little tiny thing that we can do that will spawn in us, that will spark in us the drive, the need to do more to help out. Just a little, just a tiny bit, right? Something, or at the very least, something you're going to do for yourself that makes you feel positive about who you are and where you're at and what you're doing. And with that, hopefully, that'll spill off onto those around you. You start feeling good about yourself. You start feeling good about things going on. You start finding a way that you can actually make yourself feel better without, without too much effort. Right? What am I going to do? I'm going to keep fiddling around with the guitar. I'm going to keep doing this show. I'm going to keep collecting old shit. I'm going to keep trying to pass along positivity and good energy. Because that right there is like the best way to start, you know. Alright, last hit of the day, and then we're going to shuffle off to Buffalo. Yes, Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. Be excellent to each other. That's it. That's all you got to do. You know? They keep telling us in movies a lot of truth. You just have to read between the lines and pay attention, right? And there it is. There it is. All right, before we go, look at that. Remember him? I remember him. A sad little kid. Ain't so sad now. Alright, people. This is the way it is. I am going to head off. Shuffle off to Buffalo. And go do my thing. I'm going to eat some breakfast is what I'm going to do. Probably take a leak. Turn off the cameras this time. Not leave them on all day so that they're using themselves. Right? Electronics, they only have a little bit of life in them. Lean on Me, that's a great movie. And it's a great song. And it's a great phrase. And it's a great motto. Lean on me. Lean on me when you're not strong. Lean on me anytime. You know. I'll be your friend. That's great. Just keep it up, brother. Keep it up. You're preaching to the choir now. You know, preaching, that should just be only preach in song lyrics, right? Ever. That sounds cool. Because there's so many positive song lyrics, right? That'd be great. You know, just a little respect. Morgan Freeman is God. Really? I thought he was that guy on the electric company. No, I'm sorry. He was the guy driving around Miss Daisy. That's who he was. All right, people. I am out of here. I gotta get going. I gotta get, you know, I gotta get my day rolling. So I hope you all will get your day rolling. Find some positivity out there. Find a cause to get into, right? Find a way to help your community. Find a way to help yourself. Look inward. Have a great weekend, you too, Sarah. Thank you for coming by. I was happy to see you again. Come on by more often. I love to have new irregulars. All right, you people, you know what to do. Take care of each other. Do something for yourself, but do something for somebody else too. Why? Because you can. Makes you feel good, makes somebody else feel good. Don't spread bullshit. Spread peace and love. You know, pinwheel spinning around. That's it. That's it. I'm spinning around. I'm on top of the world, Ma. All right, you guys, most especially stay weird, because if you ain't weird, ain't nobody going to be weird for you. Thank you for hanging out. You got to put in the effort. You got to be weird, man. Being weird these days is just being nice. That's all it takes. This is a little weirdness goes a long way, people. Take care of each other. Take care of yourselves. Thanks for coming by. I will talk to you Monday morning. Oh, yeah. Adios.